But na anti nanmameli ngiwamamela ama instructions ma. Ngiya understand ukuthi ithi uyayincanywa but ungasho kayi2 man. Okay, one more time. Hashtag join us for tea. Hashtag together bekele big. Alex, let's go. Alex, let's go. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hashtag. Hashtag together bekele big. Come on, let's go. Hashtag join us for tea. Hashtag. One more time, as loud as you can. Alex, let's go. Hashtag. Hashtag. Big. Hashtag join us for tea. Alex, give yourselves a round of applause. Galanisha, Alexandra, you can have a seat. You can sit down. Thank you. All right. Our show is underway. It's good to see so many of you. It shows entrepreneurs are hungry to learn, to grow. Phela i-25 namhlanje Saturday, but you made a decision to be here this morning. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is invest in yourself. So give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Welcome to the T Kasi Business Workshop under the theme Solutions to Load Shedding. By a show of hands, how many of you, this is your first time here? It's your first time at any tea event. Can I share some good news? Welcome to the family. Let's welcome them into the family. Let's welcome them into the family. You are now part of the tea family. And as I said to you, our focus for today is solutions to load shedding. Let me share a couple of house rules and then we will begin the program. The bathrooms, the toilet, are on my right hand side. You will see a sign that says toilet. You go through, please watch the signs and then you will see where the male and female is. I think the male is on the right hand side. And then the exciting part of the many parts is the Wi-Fi. Not on your phone, on the data. All right. So the name is Huawei _ H112. Nyabon. Huawei _ H112. Okay? You don't have to write it down. Just go under Yland and you Uzoibon. It will come up. The password is Y1N4F52222DO. Small letters, uppercase, lowercase. I think it's capital. Okay, let's go, let's move. Why? Not as it becomes difficult. Because when spell why or to know why, like why? Not WHY, why? Why? Capital, ne? 1 N 4 F 5 2 D 0. Our two hashtags are hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together beke lebeke. One more time the password. All right. Y1 N 4 F 5 2 D 0. If you are connected, please go onto Facebook right now. Can we just do a quick exercise, please? If you are connected, please go onto Facebook. And then go onto the Township Entrepreneurs Alliance page, T. Township Entrepreneurs Alliance page. Are you there? Do you see that we are live? Do you see yourself? You must see yourself. We are live. You see me? Hey. Oh, yeah. All right. What I'm asking from you, what we're asking from you, humbly so, is please, you'll see on the live, like we are live today, there's a button that's written share. Share. I think there's like, there's comment, and there's share. Am I right? Please click on the button, the share button. We would really, really appreciate it if you can share this with your community on Facebook, those who are following you, so they can know about the great work that T is doing, that Nedbank is doing in the township, and our partners as well. So one more time, please, even when you get time later on, but it's best you do it today because you're an entrepreneur, you're busy. Please click on that share button and share what is happening today. I'll be reading comments from there, and also to, those of you who said it's your first time, it's very, very important that you follow us on our Facebook page, on our Twitter page, on our Instagram page, so that we can share the good news with you and what is happening, and so that you don't miss out on the amazing opportunities that we have for you. We also want to say a big, big welcome to our online audience. We have people tuning in from all over the world. One time there was a lady from the UK, Kabang, in the UK. One lady as well was from Angola. So to our online audience, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and under the topic, solutions to load shedding. Share some of your questions, share some of your challenges. We've got experts in the room who are going to assist you. Can we say a big welcome to our online audience? Abasboni, but Bazos feeling. Please can we give them a big, big, big thank you. Come on, Alex, let's show some love to our online audience. Another announcement that I have is all right, I need to make an announcement. The people who are sitting in the front, please make sure, Maupuma, you go out that way. And then Maupuma from this side, you go out that way. Why? Because we've got the live streaming, so they're gonna see him, they're gonna see his head, because he's gonna go this way. All right, so please make sure that you go out that way, and you go out that way. Are we still together? Hashtag? Hashtag? Thank you so much. Nedbank have got this amazing, amazing product. It's amazing. Can I see by a show of hands, how many of you, you wanted to buy something from someone, but you didn't have cash, but the cash was in your card? Or you're always carrying cash? No, you went somewhere and then you got frustrated because you didn't want to make the transfer, I get. You just wanted to do a quick tap and go. So, Nedbank have created this amazing product called the Nedbank Pocket Pause. Fana ne cell phone like ite di 310, yabona lezi ezincane hayi. Noma ungaphethe uyifaka khona la. This is for you, entrepreneurs. Stop losing money. You are losing money because you don't have a Nedbank Pocket Pause. Get yourself a Nedbank Pocket Pause. Who has one? Yo, okay. Who needs one? Please, Nedbank bankers, let's see who needs one. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Let's see the hands. Who needs one? Who hasn't decided whether they need one because they don't know how much it costs? Because you're like, yeah, I need one, but yo, okay, sure, man. All right. Guess what? Only 89 rand. And not like unigi 88 then bayak loan, no eyako. Only 89 rand. I think that deserves a round of applause. This is what Nedbank has created for us entrepreneurs. Let's give them a round of applause, please. All right, we have our Nedbank bankers outside. Zodwa Khatebe, Nomfundo, Busis Tembiso Pro, and Sizwe. Those are the Nedbank bankers who are outside, who are there to assist you, who are there to help you. Because we've been saying, yeah, but what are they doing for entrepreneurs? There's a startup bundle, amazing, amazing product as well for you entrepreneurs. So please make sure you go and see the Nedbank bankers. Social media, we said hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together beke lebeke. We're speaking on the theme, solutions to load shedding. And solutions is what we need. I'm giving away a couple of prizes. There's a t-shirt and there's a T-cap for social media engagement. So I'll be going on my social media to see who's engaging and who is sharing the love on social media. But I need to give away a prize, man. I need to give away a prize. All right. Chifiwa, are you here? So, Chifiwa is getting a prize. Why? He was the first person to arrive this morning. I think he got shared around. I think you didn't have a place to stay, or you were like, I'm coming early today. Now I'm pulling your leg, my brother. Thank you so much. The first person to arrive, please going to give him a round of applause. Come to the front quickly, my brother. Come to the front. Hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together beke. Thank you so much, my brother. Come through. You walk away with a t-shirt, T-cap. That's for you. Yeah. I'll get kosho with the. All right. And this is for you as well. Thank you so much. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Chifiwa, the first person to arrive this morning. Are the slides up? Hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together beke lebeke. The next part of this program is called the pitching challenge. I think so far we've given away about 9 sessions. Né? So 9 sessions goes to about 450,000 grand prize. They told me to mention grand prize because we're working with some entrepreneurs, and then you must understand that the 50,000 is the 27,500 cash and the 27,000 worth of training. Because as for now I blew it. I'm getting 50 months so we have high. So what happens is that you send in a 1-minute video. We look at the 1-minute video, and entrepreneurs, please, I have the privilege of looking at a lot of your videos. Some of you have great products, a great service, but unmamela my instructions. 1-minute video, 12:30 deadline. You send the video at 1:30. Unfortunately, you were to disqualify a lot of you because you were late. We have to stick to the rules. Don't miss opportunities because you are late. So, we don't want to just talk about pitching. Can I see by a show of hands? You've been in a situation where you are asked, tell us about your business. Like already are giving, can I see by show of hands? You were in a position where you were asked, tell us about your business, and you couldn't. We're here to help. Let's be honest. I've been there before. Every time you started as an entrepreneur, you're trying to figure things out. Ne? So, we are here to assist you. Let's get learning. Let's get into the workshop. You've got a notebook, you've got a pen. 4 questions. When you are asked to pitch your business, these are the 4 questions that your pitch must answer. Today we're giving away a grand prize of 50,000 Rand. Question number 1. Please write this down. What problem are you solving? And what service are you providing? Oh. So what problem are you solving? What service are you providing? Or what product are you offering? Question number 1. Get straight into it. Like you're already starting the pitch and you're giving us your number. No. Sometimes you only have 30 seconds. Kena ko tabeng. Pitching is one no share like kena mo tabeng. What problem are you solving? What product or service are you offering? Question number 1. Question number 2. Yere baya man re paisang. Re baya man that are selling clothes. You know you're not the only one. Okay? You have competitors who want to take your customers. So the question that you must answer is, what's your unique selling point? What's different about your product? What's different about the Aisahao? What's different about Namaya Hloyahao? What makes you stand out? Is it the products that you use? Is it the way that you do it? What makes you stand out? Question number 3. What's your story? Why did you start? What's your story? Why did you start? And the last question, what do you need? You've pitched, you told us your product, your service offering, it's special like this. This is your story, this is why you started. And then what must we do? Must we like? Must we share? Must we buy? Because at times people don't always want you to buy their products. Maybe just by sharing, or maybe referral. So, we said question number 1. Can we say it together? What problem are you solving, yeah? Or what service are you offering? Question number 2. What's your unique selling point? Question number 3. What do you need? Question number 4. What's your story? Okay, I'll switch them around. I just wanted to see if you're listening, so you're still with me. Thank you. It's not on the screen, but if you are here or you're watching online, you are lucky. Business model, how do you make money? I understand you want to create employment for young people, but how are you going to do that without money? How do you make money? So if I'm giving you money, I must know how you're making money. How do you make money? So we've got those 5 questions. Online audience, please get involved as well. Share your business. Where are you from? What are some of the solutions to load shedding? Hey, we could choose you from wherever you are in the country. So, we have chosen 6 entrepreneurs. And we said, the 50,000 I pull me like Alex. Mele isali la. So all the pitching finalists from today are from Alex. Entrepreneurs right here from Alex. Amazing entrepreneurs. Please give yourselves a round of applause. So this is how it's going to work. We call you up, you come on stage, we give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Yeah, 2 minutes is enough. We give you 2 minutes to come and tell us about your business and all of those 4 questions, and then we've got our judges. At the end, we're going to decide who the winner is. We are the judges. I'm not going to disclose their names for safety reasons, but I will call up the pitching finalists. Please, when they come up on stage, some of you haven't done this before. It's not easy being up here. Alex, let's show them some love. Our first pitching finalist is Nontogozo Mazibugo from JSN Physiotherapy. Nontogozo, are you here? The Nontogozo is here. Please come to the front, my sister. Please come to the front. As she's coming to the front, let's show her some love. Let's show her some love. Alex, let's stand up. Put our hands together for Nontogozo Mazibugo, JSN Physiotherapy. All right, wait for us to give you a countdown, and then the platform will be yours. Okay. So we're gonna do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then we are done. Let's go. And in 3, 2, 1, action.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Notokozo Mazibogo. I am a 23-year-old physiotherapist and the founder of JSN Physiotherapy. So into my story. Growing up, I used to be a very inquisitive child. I'd ask a lot of questions. I'd get into a lot of trouble as a kid. So at 10 years old, let's just say I was curious of all the wrong things. In this particular case, it was a paraffin heater. So I just wondered what would happen if I pour paraffin while it was still burning. And yeah, that didn't go down well. I got burned at 10, and I was admitted in hospital for 2 weeks. And in hospital, there were a lot of people that were taking care of me. Doctors, nurses were my least favorites because they'd come to wash my wounds. That was very painful. But there was this one particular white lady with curly hair who stood out for me. Because every time she came to me, we would just play. Like all the time, it was just play. So I really enjoyed my time with her. It turns out that that lady was actually a physiotherapist, and that all of that play was actually treatment. So that's how I fell in love with physiotherapy, and that's when I decided that I wanted to do physio. So after graduating, I went to UKZN, studied for 4 years, and after graduating and finishing my ComServe, I kind of struggled to find a job like most graduates these days. But then I decided that I wasn't going to sit around and blame the government. I wasn't going to wait for the government. I was just going to register my practice, and then I started approaching different doctors around, you know, to kind of ask to rent the office and then work with them. Luckily, I was able to get the doctor that works right here in Alex Mall to allow me to use his office to see my patients. So the problem that I'm solving, there's quite a few. As a physio, I get to see. What did I do?
This is the toughest part of my job. When I say 2 minutes, I have to say 2 minutes. Like, but it's cut, because I must be fair to everyone. Your 2 minutes is up. And you know, the lovely thing about live streaming is the fact that you can go back and watch again. So you know that next time, in that 2 minutes, you must put everything in. Nontogozo, we wish you all the best in your practice. Please can we give a round of applause? Thank you. All right. I want to make sure I get the right name. All right, next up we have Kamogelo. Kamogelo Magabu from Fertility Lifestyle. Kamogelo, are you here? He's here. Please can we put our hands together for Kamogelo? Please come on stage, my brother. No. Center stage. No, center stage. Yeah, sure. All right, just wait for us to give you the countdown, and then you begin.
1, 2.
All right, let's go. And in 3, 2, 1, action.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tabang Kamogelo Magabu from a company called Fratelli Lifestyle. Fratelli is an Italian word that means brothers. What do we do at Fratelli? And what the problem that we have identified is that most of the people, we buy furniture outside the country. So it's Fratelli, we decided that we're bringing furniture closer to people. The furniture that we manufacture is an outdoor and indoor furniture using all recyclable materials. We've been operating from 2018 in Alex and also in Tembisa. We also train people to manufacture furniture. What are we looking for? We're just looking for 24,270. We're going to use 12,500 for the generator, 700 for solar lights, because now you see load shedding and the customers are in demand. So if we're having a solar lights, we can even work at night so that we can cover the orders that we're having. And we're looking for 6,800 to increase our workshop space so that we can work in every weather condition, whenever it's raining, whenever it's hot, even during the night, so that we can submit the products on time. And we're looking for 4,270 for the table saw machine. Any question? Thank you.
First time. Any questions? Manager, open mic. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much, my brother. That was Kamokhelo Makhabu from Fratelli Lifestyle. Before I bring up the third picture, please can I repeat the Wi-Fi password? I see you're tweeting, you're sharing the love, but data is a bit of a... So the name, very quickly, Huawei _H112. If you just go to Wi-Fi, you'll see it come up. Huawei _H112. Aiko. All right. After the next picture, I will try it out as well here, and then I'll get back to you. But we'll make a plan for you. All right. So we have picture number 3. It's tight, eh? Very tight. You said 24,000 quickly, my brother. You said 24,000. Oh, I'm just spending at 27,000. We should lay in your sala. Kanti ay namanyama. Sakile Shabang from Pro Africa Group. Sakile, are you here? Sakile, are you here? All right, you are here, my brother. Please can we put our hands together for Usakile Shabangu from Pro Africa Group. Come on, Alexandra. Let's show him some love. Let's show him some love. Let's show him some love.
One, two.
All right, count down. Let's go. And in 3, 2, 1, action.
Hi everyone, my name is Sakile Shabangu. I'm born and bred here in Alex. I'm a social entrepreneur and I own a company called Pro Africa Group. Now, over the years, I've especially gotten involved with social entrepreneurship because we always wanted to, myself and the team always wanted to find solutions which can better off the lives of our lives, the lives of the community, and the lives of the general public here in Alex. So right now, we've seen that our biggest challenge is load shedding. And in recent months, we've started working on a solution that we call the backyard backup box. So we believe that we as individuals and as households should be in a position by now to create or generate electricity ourselves using recyclables. Using recyclables and pairing it with other alternative energy like solar, wind, and basically water running in our rivers. So yeah, that's pretty much the solution. And yeah, so since we are in research and development phase, pretty much most of the money that we need will go towards actually developing the final backyard backup box and any marketing resources related to that, just so that we are able to put it forward to the community. So thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Exactly on time. Yeah, it's cut, yes, but you're nervous and you did well. See, he came, it's like you're but he was great. He spoke from the heart. He knows what his business is about. Congratulations, my brother. All right, 2 more to go. It's, for us also, it's very interesting when we hear about businesses which are like uncommon. We think that these businesses only exist in like Senton. We've got an amazing lady who's, I know I'm putting you on the spot, who does jewelry as well. And she's been part of the family. Amazing, 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 amazing. So this is great. This is amazing. Patrick, two more to go, Alex. Patrick Baloyi from Executive Management Team. Are you here, Patrick? Patrick is here. Please can we show some love and give Patrick a round of applause as he's coming up. My brother, go the other way. Please go the other way. One more time, as he's coming up on stage. He's coming up on stage. So this is Patrick Baloyi from Executive Management Team. Picture number 4 for the grand prize of 50,000 Rand. My brother, over to you. Just wait for us to give you the countdown.
The name that you mentioned for my company, I think is the wrong name. I'm from one of my business hub.
All right, but they gave us the following email, so that's the one we told them. Okay. But we'll fix it. Okay. Sakhuluma nje. All is in order.
Thank you very much. My name is Patrick Baloyi. I'm from Alexandra. I'm a socio-entrepreneur. I'm running a business called Kokwani Mai Business Hub. I'm just going to shoot straight into the pitch. The first question was, what offering am I offering? I'm doing printing, designing, I'm doing branding and promoting. The problem that I'm solving a problem of business image enhancement. And then question number 2, it says, what is it that sets apart from other competitors? We offer great service. We have a WhatsApp assist line. We have highest level of hygiene at our cafes. We also improve return business for our customers. We promote collaborative packages. We offer value for money products. We also have a spirit of giving back to our community. What do we need as a business? We need a backup. We need a backup system in the form of UPS. We need advertising material. We need graphic designers that will be internally based. We need IT support. We need mentorship. We need web designers. I need a business advisor. We also need renovation to take place at our head office. How do we make money? We make money through customers walking into our cafes on a daily basis. We also make money through collaborative of black intelligence companies, meaning that we encourage our customers to adopt a strategy of taking packages instead of us giving them individual items. What do we need? I'm sorry, I've covered what do we need. My story is that I left my work for pursuing my business, and I'm currently in the space whereby we are.
What's up, my brother? Oh, come, can we give Patrick a round of applause? That was great, my brother. That was great. All right. 4 down, 1 to go. Yeah, no, give him another round of applause. Give him another round of applause. Oh, he came with the team. It's important to come with your team. Eh? All right, our last one is Semi Ndobe from Aka Africa Conglomerate. Semi, you here? You hear, my brother? As he's coming up to the front, please can we give him a round of applause? This is Semi Ndobe from Aka Africa Conglomerate. Hey, oh, okay. I should say, yeah, one last one. Zvanayo. Simza, wait for the countdown, my brother, and then over to you.
Greetings everyone, my name is Semi Ndobe, the first employee and director of Aka Africa Conglomerate. What services do we offer? We make custom-made furniture and steel fabricated items. What sets us apart? We make Caseredo level products at choreographed prices. What is my story? Is that I went to school to study welding, carpentry. I did business management, HR, and marketing for the purpose of studying this business. What do I need? I need a generator, compressor, and market access. How do we make money? We sell home improvement items online and through word to mouth. And I think this is the last one. Thank you.
Everyone needs a generator. We need electricity. Right? Maybe you're sitting here and you've got the supply. People need you. Can we give our pitching finalists a round of applause? One of you today will be walking away with the grand prize of 50,000 Rand for you and your business. It's all up to the judges now. Scores are being tallied. Hashtag join us for tea. I did make a promise just after the speaker. I will share with you the Wi-Fi and see if it's working. I want to talk to the team as well. I see it's packed. It's so packed. Some of you just joined us now. You could have been elsewhere doing something else, but you're like, I'm going to hashtag join us for tea. I'm going to together Bekele Bake. Thank you so much. If you've just joined us, whether online or physical, welcome to another Tea Kasi Business Workshop. Please can we give them a round of applause? You're part of the family now. Let's move right along. We have Mahlatsi Phahla, Department of Small Business Development. Are you here, Mahlatsi? Just to come and share with us the work that they're doing and opportunities that are there for young people. Entrepreneurs, not young people. Mahlatsi, please can you go, please, Mahlatsi, please go around the camera. Please, ushers, can we make sure that they go around the camera? Because we've got people tuning in from all over the world watching this tea session. Please come this way. All right, one more time for Mahlatsi Phahla from Department of Small Business Development.
Good morning, Alex. How are you, Alex? Wow, so good to be here. My name is Mahlatsi Phahla. I'm from Department of Small Business Development. So what do? We as a department, we help you guys so that your business can grow and be big like all other businesses. So one of our programs will be the Youth Challenge Fund, because I see that today we have youth entrepreneurs here in the house. Give a round of applause. So, we are available at all the CEDA. CEDA is Small Enterprise Development Agency. They do non-financial support. If you are starting, you need guidance, just go to CEDA, they will help you. They have workshops where they can help you on how to do a business plan. We all know that when you apply for funding, they'll tell you that we need a business plan. We need financial projections and all that. So CEDA is there for that. So go to CEDA, they are in all provinces. Just visit them or just go to their website, it's ceda.org.za. And CFA, one of our agency as well. CFA is Small Enterprise Finance Agency. They do finances. And you know that one of the challenges to the entrepreneurs out there is funding. You have a purchase order and they tell you that we need those products in 2 weeks. Where can you get that in 2 weeks? So CFA is there to assist you. As long as you have the proof of the purchasing order, they will give you that amount from 5,000 to 5 million. So one of our programs that we are proud of is Township and Rural Entrepreneurship Program. Go to your nearest CIFA or go to CIFA website. We assist spaza shops, your hair salons, your chisanyama, demagogos that cook on the side of the road, we assist them. The automotives, that, we need that panel beater in a gas, when you have stakilenyana, they are there to assist you. So we are there to help them to have those things that you're gonna need, the space and all that. So we also have retails as well. That one includes restaurant and your car washes. You know that starting a business is not easy. But through CEDA and CIFA and Department of Small Business Development, we are there to help you. So if you want to reach us, our table is there. You can come and take this brochure. It has all our information, our contact details, and we are here to help you guys. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Makati. Wow. Thank you so much. That was Mahlati from Department of Small Business Development. And I've always said, and I'll continue to say it, guys, they are here. Take advantage of them. That's why we bring them. We have entrepreneurs that say, yeah, but we send them emails and they never respond. See, our phone, our bamba, my phone. They write here, Mahlati is here, their team is here. Take advantage of this opportunity. How does my business come in? How do I assist this? Because that's what they're here to do. It's their mandate. Next up, we have Ronald. Ronald, are you here? The owner of this place. Ronald? Ron? Kubalin shebele na go kitchen. Maybe sansana. All right, so we'll move on. All right, Ron will join us. So far, so good? Are we still together? Come on, guys, let's go. Hashtag. Join us for tea. Hashtag. Okay, we are still together. I'm going to bring on a legend on stage. Billy Selekane. He's with us. He's in the building. Who is he? Briefly, let me tell you. He doesn't like this, but I must tell you. Billy Selekane is an author, internationally acclaimed inspirational keynote speaker, personal team and organizational effectiveness specialist. He's the executive chairman of Billy Selekane and Associates with associate footprint in Australia, Middle East, Singapore, Sweden, the UK, the USA, all the way from Tembisa to the world. He's the past president of PSASA, Professional Speakers Association of Southern Africa, the first South African speaker to speak at the General Assembly NS USA Convention. I think that on its own deserves a round of applause. He has inspired over 30 million people globally on his keynotes, and the one which I know him from barefoot to snakeskin shoes. And he's got them on today. He's in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we show some love and put our hands together for the one and only, the legendary Billy Selekane.
How much time do I have? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. He's such an amazing guy. Please, let's give him a great hand. You know, they say all events will die at the hands of an MC. And if the MC is sloppy and sleeping, the event dies. If the MC is dynamic and amazing and powerful, the event rises and greatness begins to happen. Again, let's give him some respect. Alexandra, you know, I spent some time in Alexandra many, many years ago. When Tembisa did not like me anymore, I came to Alexandra, refocused my life and went back to Tembisa. So I am both a Tembisa guy and an Alexandra guy. And for me to be here today is such an amazing and a great pleasure, and especially to talk to young entrepreneurs and aspirant and very, very dedicated, and I can see amazing products out there. I hope I can sample some of them. If there's something nice to eat, I'm gonna eat. Something nice to put on my face, I'm gonna put on my face. Something nice to buy and wear, I'm gonna buy and wear. Because we don't only have to show up, we have to support each other. So, I'm gonna want us to make an agreement on a particular statement. So I'm gonna tell you what it is, and each time I ask you this question, who are you? You're going to answer me in the statement that I'm gonna share with you. Are we together? Right. So I want you to say, you are young, gifted, and black. Okay? So if I say, who are you? You must say what? Come on, guys. You know, every Thursday they're going to mama, so you know. And once in a while they want some inspiration and they invite me. But hey, you know, when I get there, I get so excited. I say, you guys are young. They go, oh, we're young. I mean, come on. You know, you guys are better than that. Let's go again. Who are you? Young, again, who are you? Young, that's it. If there's one thing that you should never ever forget, or that you should never ever let anybody take away from you, is the fact that you're young, you're black, and you're gifted. And we're not gifted by default, but gifted by design, because we're the cradle of human beings. And sadly, as Africans, we tend to forget that. You know, we created the world, and suddenly now, we don't even sit at the table of the world because we've forgotten who we are. Make sense? So I'm gonna remind you who you are by telling you a story. Because I believe that human beings are no longer what I call human beings, where, you know, we used to be called Homo sapiens, but now we are Homo storians, which means our lives are defined by the stories of our lives. Does it make sense? That each and every one of you, when you wake up in the morning, you are writing a story. So the book of your life every morning is completely empty. And what you write in that book is going to give us two things. It's going to give us a very powerful and inspirational story that people want to follow, talk about, read, and share, or it's going to give us the worst story that nobody ever wants to talk about. Does it make sense? And every one of us has the exact same opportunity every day when we wake up. Because here's the deal. 24 hours is 1,440 minutes. Bill Clinton doesn't get more, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't get more, Elon Musk doesn't get more, Oprah Winfrey doesn't get more, Tiger Woods doesn't get more, Serena Williams does not get more, Cristiano Ronaldo does not get more. We all get exact amount of time. It is what we do with that time that makes the greatest difference. Does it make sense? So for us to get into that level of our lives where we understand this one profound truth, that we cannot and should not blame anybody for the outcomes of our lives. Does it make sense? Who are you? Come on, guys, give me some love. Who are you? Now we're talking. So I'm going to share with you this story. And this story happens in the middle of America. Now, the middle of America is called the food belt of America. That's where a lot of grains are grown. That's where a lot of livestock is reared. It's a very powerful farming community, middle of America. Now, one particular morning, this very super wealthy farmer wakes up, has breakfast, and walks away and opens for his animals to go and graze. When he was done opening for his animals to go and graze, he took a walk and went into a place called a barn. A barn is a massive structure where they keep hay that they feed to the animals. He went into the barn and started doing some work on the barn. Now, like all of us, we've got what you call a circadian clock. A circadian clock is your body clock. It's how your body operates. So if you're the kind of person that eats lunch at 12, from about 20 to 12, your body starts telling you, hey, I need to be fed. Does it make sense? And if you're the guy that eats it at 2 or 3, it doesn't matter, but once you've created this cycle around yourself, your body responds according to how your emotions and the physique feels. So as he's busy working, time for lunch hits because his body clock tells him that it is time for lunch. He says, man, I've not been here for a very long time. How can it be lunch so quickly? And he says to himself, let me confirm that indeed it's lunchtime. So he searches for a watch in his left pocket, he doesn't find it. He searches in his right pocket, he doesn't find it. He thinks, this is very interesting. And why is it interesting? Because he never ever leaves this watch behind. So he quickly says, well, I'm going to eat anyway. And then he walks into the house, and the first thing that he does is to look for the watch at the breakfast table, and the watch is not there. Then he goes back to his bedroom. On the side of his table, the watch is not there. Now one would wonder, why would such a wealthy and powerful farmer be so worried about a watch? Well, the story of the watch is quite simple. It's what's called a family heirloom. So this farm that he's running, he's the 5th generation farmer. And each time this farm changes hands, the watch must also change hands. Does it make sense? So he thinks maybe as I was walking to go and open for my animals, I dropped it. He took the same path that he took and he couldn't find it. Then I thought, I'm going to go back to the barn because that's where I've been carrying a lot of stuff. He goes into the barn, he searches for the watch, he does not find it. And he makes his way back home again. On his way to his house, he hears a group of young people playing around from a distance. And he calls these young people, about 14 of them, and they come and he says to them, young people, I've got a challenge, and I believe you can help me solve this challenge. And he says to them, I've lost a watch. And he describes exactly how this watch looks like. He says, I believe I lost the watch in that barn. And if any of you finds this watch, I will give him $100. Now for young people, $100 is a lot of money. Now 14 of these young men, they run crazy back into this barn. They turn this barn upside down for about 2 hours, and then they come back. And they say, sir, we're very sorry, we can't find it. And his day begins to change. His heart begins to feel the worst of pain. Then he goes into his house and he sits. And in about 2 minutes, he hears a very big knock on the door. Doof, doof, doof. And he goes and opens the door. He finds one young man who was part of the group. And he says to this young man, how can I help you? And this young man looks at him and says, sir, can you please give me an opportunity to go and search for this watch again? And the farmer looks at this young man and says, but you and 13 of your friends could not find this watch. What makes you believe that you will find it on your own? And this young man looks at this farmer and said, you know, sir, when you offered us the $100, me and my friends, we rushed in there. We didn't have a plan. We just rushed in there because we're a group, you know, we belong to a group, Sibandla, you know. We just do things because the other people are doing them without thinking. And he said, once we played around there and tried to search for this watch, with no plan, with no passion, with no enthusiasm, when we walked away with my friends, something dawned on me, that I personally have a dream. Not a dream with this group of guys. I individually have a dream. And if I get that $100, it will sow a seed that will make sure that my dream becomes true. And he said, sir, what I thought about was, I'm going to come and ask for a second chance. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world of second chances. Some of you might have started a business that has failed. Some of you might have failed matric like I did many, many years ago. Actually, I didn't fail matric. I got an S in matric. You know what S means? Yes? It means good living. It means everybody goes to university taking on this side, you must go drive a taxi or do something this side, you know. It means you can't do this education thing. I'll keep throwing the story in as we continue. So this old man looks at this young man and says, well, knock yourself out. And the young man goes into the barn and he begins to search. And the old man is sitting in his kitchen. And he's just worried. His heart is dark. How is he going to explain to his son what happened to this amazing, amazing family heirloom? And in about 45 minutes, he hears the loudest knock on his door. And when he opens up, is this young man, and he stretches his hand, and there's a watch in the middle of the hand. The old man grabs the watch, reaches out in his back pocket, pulls out all the money that he had, and he hands it over to this young man. The young man grabs the money. As he's running off, the old man says, wait a minute, before you run off, I want you to explain to me how you, in less than an hour alone, you were able to find this watch when you and your friends, 13 other friends of yours, for 2 hours you couldn't find it. And the young man tells a beautiful story. He said, you know, sir, when I got inside the barn, I looked for a central place. I looked for a place exactly in the middle of that building. And he said, once I found this place, he said, I closed my eyes. He said, I removed all the noise and the light on my head, and I connected my head and my heart. And he said, all I wanted to hear was the sound of a ticking watch. He says, sir, I focused deeply and my mind was completely blank. I had no noise. And he said, within a very far distance, I could hear very faintly, tick-tock, tick-tock. He said, sir, I focused even deeper and I could hear the sound, tick-tock, tick-tock. He said, I stood up, I went to the general direction where I had this noise, I sat down again, connected my head and my heart, and removed all the noise. And he said, suddenly, the noise became louder, tick-tock, tick-tock. He said, I reached out, and that's how I found the watch. Now, what can we learn from this story? I'm going to share with you 5 principles that we can learn from this story. And I believe that if you take these principles and go back and relook at both your life and your business, I promise you there'll be a movement, there'll be a shift in your life and in your business. So the first principle we learn from this story is the principle of purpose. Now, each and every one of us, we were not born accidentally, we were born intentionally. And there are two very important days in our lives. It is the day that we were born and the day that we found out why we were born. Those are two important days. So this young man had a purpose, and his purpose was driven by his vision. And he knew that for his purpose to be made manifest, he had to risk. He had to shift away from the group of friends that he had and go and confront an opportunity that was there, that for the first time when he saw it, he did not take it to heart. Like some of you are here today. This is a great opportunity. We never had these kind of things when I was growing up. We were literally on our own. There was no Google, there was no Netflix, there was nothing. We were literally on our own. And some of you are here just to come and check things out and think, lento leza zispan, leza bawatu atamane bank, bazovaya, and then everything goes back to scratch. Well, here's the thing. Whatever happens to you today depends on this one profound truth about your life. Do you understand your purpose? And purpose speaks about original intent, because every one of us was brought on planet Earth to fulfill a particular commission. We call it the Celestial Commission. Now, that's what we learned from this young man. His purpose was so powerful that he was willing to move away from his friends. Now, here's the truth. How many of you have moved away from your friends that are holding you back? How many of you have moved away from friends that each time you tell them your dream, they say to you, you'll not make it, and they give you examples of people who never made it, but they never ever share with you examples of people who made it? How many of you are willing to do that? And until and unless you're willing to do that, you'll never build any significant business in your life. That's the first thing we learn from this young man. We learn purpose. The second principle we learn from this young man is passion. He was so passionate about his vision and his purpose that he was willing to put in the extra work of going individually to go and search for the watch in a massive, probably 10 times the size of this room, and the watch was this size. He was willing to go and search for a watch this small. He was passionate enough to go and expose himself to the hardest thing that he ever did in his life. And the question is, how passionate are you about your dream, about your business, about your life? Because I can tell you now, there's nothing great that has ever been achieved without passion. And each time when we talk about passion, people think passion is about red roses, Valentines and big teddy bears. Some of you, I know you didn't get the roses. What can I say? Life is tough. These things happen. I sympathize with you. Now, don't just chill, Now, the word passion finds in its origin, etymology is the study of the origin of words and concepts. Now, passion finds its origin in the Greek word called pashko. And the meaning of the word pashko means the willingness to feel the pain for and the willingness to die for. So if somebody says they're passionate about their business, I'm thinking, oh, are you really passionate, my man? Are you willing to do what you're doing every day, even if you know that nobody's going to pay you? Are you willing to show up and be ridiculed and be called names because you are passionate about what you're pursuing? And if you're not willing to do that, then hey, you're not going to make it happen. I've been in the speaking industry for 25 years now. And every time I get people that says to me, Mr. Silikani, I want to become a speaker, mentor me. I say, okay, you want to speak? Do me a favor. Get a friend of yours and a phone. We all have phones, isn't it? That have got cameras. Go to pen. I want a pen. Find a spot and start speaking. Let your friend video you, send me that video, then we can take it from there. How many people do you think have sent me a video? Nobody. Because everybody wants the quickest way into the next podium. Everybody thinks coming onto the stage, it's easy. Oh, we get in there and we just talk, and we get given nice gifts and whatever. It's not easy. You've got to prepare yourself. You've got to work hard. You've got to read. You've got to research. You've got to get a coach. You've got to fail, not fail once, not fail twice, not fail 3 times. You've got to fail many, many times. You've got to fail so badly that failure looks at you and says, man, I'm tired of you. Sends an email to success and says, take this person, make them successful. That's how much you must be willing to fail. If you're not willing to fail that much, then you don't deserve to become successful. Who are you? Oh, you guys are sleeping. Oh my God. Let's go again. Who are you? Beautiful. So the second principle we learn is the principle of purpose. The third principle we learn is the principle of positioning. Now, positioning has to do with what we call your brand. And some of you have this illusion about branding. You think branding is your nice cut and paste hair and your fake Gucci, whatever. That's not branding. That's just items that adorn a human body. Your branding is the little experiences that you give to other people. And your brand is not what you tell people it is. It's what people say you are. Because your brand is your essence and your truth. So when you speak about positioning, I usually say to people, where do I find you? Where are you positioned? Are you positioned at a tavern? Are you positioned at a shebeen? Are you positioned where people are talking about other people instead of concepts and ideas? Where do I find you? That's positioning. That's what this young man said. This young man said, "Sir, I searched for a place in the middle of the barn." He positioned himself in a place where his ears could get the complete sound of the room. That's what branding is all about. That's what positioning is all about. Where do we find you? Your branding and your positioning is what I call your train station. It's your place of integrity. And if you don't have a place of integrity, if, in January you do stationery, and then my pen stationery, then you do an event for Valentine. And then my pen event for Valentine, then you're preparing an event for the 16th of June. What are you doing? What is your business? How are you contributing? Now, here's the thing about us South Africans. We romanticize entrepreneurship. We think it's a romantic thing, it's a nice, I'm gonna have a business card, I'm gonna wear those socks. What do they call them? Yes, the happy socks, and I'm gonna go to the Mug and Bean with my laptop. Then I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah. And some people call themselves, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. So what does it mean? So I said, no, Mr. Silicon, I've got this business, that business. I said, wow. I said, so how much did you turn over last year? Last year, no, but at least give me 3,000 rand, you got 5,000 rand. And I said, listen, shall I go and look for a job? Go and look for a job and learn the discipline of working before you start. You don't have a business. And we must be honest about the fact that this journey, it's not for everybody, guys. And here's the truth. It does not mean if you're not an entrepreneur, you'll not be able to create wealth. Wealth creation is available to everybody. Entrepreneurship is not meant for the faint-hearted. It is a tough path. And unless you're willing to fail and fall and lose friends, and your girlfriend that you promised to marry runs away with another guy with a faster car than yours, until you're willing to go through those stuff, you are not worth wearing the badge of an entrepreneur. So this young man said, I found a place and I positioned myself. Now let me share with you the power of positioning. Let's make an example with the retail world. I'm about to say some very strange things, and this thing is on video, it's live. But one thing I like about South Africans, we don't sue each other, So I'm going to say some funny things about some brands. And I know they're not going to sue me because this is South Africa. Sue me, sue Pilisilkan. Are you kidding? Do other serious things, Do other things and just leave me. I'm a guy from Tembisa, you know what I mean? So I'm going to make an example. When it talks about positioning, we're going to use local retail brands. We're going to look at 3 brands. We're going to look at Checkers, we're going to look at Spar, we're going to look at Woolworths. So let's start with Checkers. What do you believe is Checkers positioning in the market? What is their brand positioning? Checkers. Cheap. Here we go. Checkers. Kini shelf for like a shop of stock. End of story. No sophistication at all. You buy, you go, you out. Okay? Let's look at Spar. What is Spar's brand positioning? Spar. Convenience. Because my L6 goes Spar for 62 rand or something. Yes? Because they know you don't want those eggs. You need them. So it's a convenience store. So that's why everything is multiplied by 4. Go Spar. Let's talk about Woolworths. What is Woolworths positioning? Quality. Isn't it amazing? So you guys are really brand savvy. You understand these brands. So now, all these 3 brands, they have what we call a delicacy. A delicacy is where they sell hot food. All of them. Spar sells hot food, Pick n Pay, Checkers sells hot food, and Woolworths sells hot food. Now, once in a while, I have an opportunity to go to a Woolworths, and to go to the deli, and to buy chicken, because I like chicken. I'm a darkie, we like chickens, we can't help it, So, when I go to that Woolworths delicacy, and I look at these chickens, they are nicely packed. And those ladies, they are wearing that headgear and the CSI gloves, you know what I mean? And everything is organized. So, I make up a story. I'm thinking, oh my God, these chickens are amazing. Where do they come from? Because isn't it that Woolworths, they say everything is organic? So I create this story in my head because this is an organic chicken. I'm thinking the farm where these chickens are bred, it's a beautiful farm. The grass is green, you know, the sprinklers are going, and the chickens are just doing their thing, you know. And I'm thinking, so when they guillotine them, what happens? And I'm thinking they play classical music. And this chickens just make a nice straight line with no worries at all to be guillotined, you know. And then I imagine what kind of truck delivers this chicken. Have you guys seen the trucks that delivers Woolworths stuff? It's written organic. It's a black truck, it's written organic, yes. The tires are good, it doesn't smoke, the driver is good, he's very compliant. And they have like a lift at the back, yes? So I imagine they park at the back of a Woolworths, and that lift goes, bzzz, they put those chickens here, then they take them in a little trolley, they give them to those ladies. Now those chickens, they get put in that machine. The machine that goes like this. They stack them nicely, they press the machine, then the machine goes crazy and they put them there. Now when you buy this chicken, it's an experience. You don't just show up and buy a Woolworths chicken. It's an experience, guys. It's a complete branding experience. Now, by the way, if you look at the ambience of a Spar, a Checkers, and a Woolworths, completely different. A Checkers get cheese, it's very hot. Have you realized? Checkers is like very, very hot. A Spar get pitizero, you know, everybody's in a hurry. But have you seen Woolworths, the air at Woolworths? Have you experienced that? One can enjoy Woolworths, there's this air, you know, just this unbelievable air. And have you seen people in Woolworths, they don't greet each other, hey, kunjani, make noise, they just shake their heads like this. I mean, it's like, it's like everything is quality. There's like, you can't live, I mean, air Checkers, have you seen those ladies about clean air Checkers? Who clean the floor there? So one day I'm getting there and I'm thinking, I need to go, but there's water all over. I'm thinking, I'll do this, you know? And this lady watches me, says, "Na nguche so phezu kwamanzi." Oh my God. That's Checkers for you. It's rough there, you know. But I can imagine if it was Woolworths, they would say, "Sir, please move this way. You know, please be careful. You might slip and fall." You know, but the Checkers get for you. So when you buy this Woolworths chicken, it's an experience. You don't just go and buy that Woolworths chicken. So I usually go there and I greet these ladies and they answer me very nicely. And I say to them, I'd like to have a relationship with that chicken and that chicken. And they take, what do you call this thing? Like a tweezer, tongs, you know? They take the chicken, they put it on top of the scale, and the scale spits out a price. And they take that brown paper, which is insulated inside. They take this chicken and they put it in. You must go and watch it. They fold it 3 times. Because everything you do is scripted. It's a script. Standard operational procedure. They fold it 3 times and they take that price tag, they put it exactly in the middle. And then they take a plastic and they put that thing in the plastic so that it stays moist. Isn't that fascinating? And then they don't give it to you. They present it to you. Because this is experience, guys. You don't get it. This is brand experience. And when they present it to me, I accept it, you know? And then I put it in the trolley, and I walk, and I pay, and I take these beautiful organic chickens, put them at the back of my car, drive 60 in a 60 zone, because this is organic chickens I have here, you know, 80 in an 80 zone. I get to my place. How do I eat it? I reverse engineer the process. That kept it moist. And I take the price tag and I unfold it 3 times, exactly the way, because they fold it 3 times. You don't just tear this Woolworths paper, it's like quality stuff, this. Then the chicken starts smelling nicely and I put it in a mat and I take a shear, iskero. You know what a shear is? Not the skero, let's just drop in one. Sasa drop in is called a Caesar. This one is called a shear, you know. Yeah. And then I cut the meat and I put it and I make a little prayer and then I enjoy my meat. Now guys, I don't know about you. Have you seen the chicken from Checkers? The chicken from Checkers is like this. It's like in Yamasola, you know. And have you seen the ladies that are selling them? These are the big ladies. They don't take shit from anybody. You know, more feeling about to full and put. It's like, oh my God, you know, like, you know. And when you say you want this chicken, what do? They take out their fork and they go on the chicken. And have you seen the packaging from the chicken as a Checkers? It's a plastic that has a handle. They throw it in there, it's got a zip line, and it's got a handle. So what are the implications? The people who buy the chicken from Checkers are always on the run, you know, so they've got to keep it there. Now think about it. These are the 3 positioning that I've given you. The Woolworths chicken, the Checkers chicken, the Spar chicken, well, what can you say? Yes, spa now is very quickly. Into zihamba masinyane spa, you know, abana sikhathi sakho. So, when you look at Woolworths, you look at Checkers, you look at Spa, you look at yourself. You look at your own personal brand. You look at the brand that you're building. What is the perception that people have about your brand? Do they see it as a Spa? Do they see it as a Checkers? Or do they see it as a Woolworths? It's all about positioning. And like I'm saying, it's not the clothes that you wear, it's how you wear them. It's not how expensive your website is, it's how it is designed. Does it make sense? It's always about the little nuances that makes the big difference. So the third thing that we learned from this young man is positioning. So I'm going to ask you again, how is your business positioned in the market that you're in? Are you one of the people that is doing this thing because you saw somebody else doing it? Or does it come from a place of passion and a place of purpose and a place of love? If it doesn't come from that place, I can promise you, you're never going to become successful. Because most people believe that success is money. Well, you see, money is a tool that gets used to manifest a lot of different dreams. Money in itself is not the end. And if you think it's about money, I wish you could get as quick, you could make so much money so quickly, so that you can quickly realize that it's not about money ultimately. The fourth thing that we learn from this young man is performance. Now, when he and his friends came, there was no coordinated performance. Everybody was doing what they wanted. It was just a mess. They turned this place upside down. But this young man knew that when he came back for the second time, he has to perform differently. He had to do things differently. Now, when it comes to performance, how is your business and how are you personally? You know, when you go to a Steers or whatever, these takeaways, or Kentucky, sometimes when you get there, it's as if you're interfering with the lives of the people that work there. Have you realized that? It's like they think like ufunani, like kind of a thing, you know? But they're working to serve customers. So your performance should not be dependent on who's around you. Because I say to people, you never know who you're sitting next to. Even today, here, you don't know who you're sitting next to. You don't know what connection they have, you don't know how powerful they are. And today when they leave, they're going to leave with an impression about you. They're going to leave with an impression about your brand. And they're going to watch how interactive and how much you were engaged in this process. Maybe they wanted you to become a partner, but they think, this guy, since I feel nje uthulile, marge lunch we begamba phambili. People watch those kind of little things. They actually did a study in the USA. There's a piano concert pianist from Israel. He had a big show happening at the Met in New York. And the cheapest ticket was $450, the cheapest ticket. So the most expensive ticket was $8,000. So what they did with this guy, they took a grand piano and they put it at Central Park, in the middle of Central Park. And they put some scientific stuff in his body and he wore a t-shirt and stuff like that. And they said he must play the whole set of the set that he's going to play in the evening. But they never told anybody who this guy was. And people were just going past. Some people would drop $1, whatever. At the end of that performance, they collected only $81. $81. Then he went into the evening where people wanted tickets to go and watch him. And tickets were sold out. And he performed. They put the same stuff in him, but this time he was dressed in a tuxedo. There was a full audience. And when he performed, and when they looked at the data was exactly the same. He performed exactly the same when nobody knew him, exactly the same where people came to watch him. So what does it say? Performance is not circumstantial or conditional. You have to perform all the time. Does it make sense? They give you the smallest task, show up with the biggest attitude. Because the smallest tasks open up a path for the bigger tasks. Does it make sense? Because I've had people that says, you know, we work a lot with the corporate world. Somebody says, when I'm a manager, I'm going to do. I said, then you're not going to become a manager. Because you've got to start thinking, believing, and behaving like a manager now, so that when that opportunity comes, they just pick you because already you are playing that role. Does it make sense? It's like somebody says, I'm going to give when I have money. You are not going to give when you have money. If you cannot give when you don't have money, what makes you think you're going to give when you have money? Does it make sense? Unless you're a schizophrenic person. The nature of who we are, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. Like I'm saying, unless you're a schizophrenic, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So that's the fourth principle we learned from this young man, performance. The last principle is about persistence. You know, am I right? Persistence ki khotello, ukubegazela. Now this young man had 13 friends. And probably some of his friends came from very wealthy families, I don't know. But he realized that if I stick with these friends of mine, with this mob psychology, I'm never going to achieve my dreams. I'm never going to manifest the greatness that God wants me to manifest because I'm hidden inside a group of people. Does it make sense? How many of you are hidden inside a group of people? And sometimes when you hear people speaking, you can hear they belong to a group. When somebody's late, you ask them, why are you late? I say late, ngoba. But I'm thinking you're alone, when an oban, it's like it's you. I'm asking you the question. Now, when we talk about persistence, ladies and gentlemen, I said to you earlier on, I dropped a little hint that I had an S in metric. So, December, our results came December because things were working. Things don't work anymore. Your results come almost before Easter, isn't it? It's a metric, if you are lucky. Because, Jesus, I'm saying strange things. I'm going to be sued. Am I going to be sued? Huh? You guys are going to toy for me, yes? Cool, let's do this. So, when our results were published, the day before the results were published, there were two kinds of people who were anxious. The first group was, how many A's do I have? Maybe I've got a B in maths. So that's the happy group. Then the next group, we're just praying that our name appears. That's all we want, So the day before the publication of the newspaper, we don't sleep. And we see at 4 o'clock, outside the shops where they deliver newspapers. And on that day, everybody buys themselves a copy. Nobody wants to see anybody's copy. So on that day, we're all excited to go there. We buy newspapers. I buy my paper. I go to alphabets. I look, S. I don't see my surname. So I'm thinking, sometimes your brain will play very funny tricks with you. So I'm thinking, this is not the right paper. I drop this paper and I run to another township to go and buy the right paper. Because in my head, I'm thinking, my name has to show up somewhere. I get to this place, I buy the newspaper. Now I look for somebody who sees better than me. And I get this specs. Then I say, and the funniest thing happens, she's wearing glasses. She takes off the glasses and she pushes the paper that far. Have you seen how these things work? I'm thinking, I thought the glasses make things bigger. And she pushes out there, and eventually my name is not there. But you know what we do? We always search for people that are going through the same issues. We don't want to go to people where things are happening. So I'm thinking, there must be people who feel like me, who are going through the same thing like me. I must find these people quickly. And you know why I want to find them? Because we're going to organize a pity party. You know what a pity party is? We're going to blame the teachers, we're going to blame the government, not ourselves. No. But they don't like us, these people. So I sat with my friends and we did this pity party. But I'm thinking about many paper. And already there's a rumor that my name is not on the paper. But that rumor is true. My name is not on the paper. It's not a rumor. It's information that will come in reality very late, but it has happened. So eventually I'm bold, I go home, You know that kind of an attitude. I'm going to pull once. And when I walked in there, nobody said anything. And I thought, this is cool. Then I went and I started playing music. Because we are Africans, we're very musical. When we're sad, we listen to music. When we're happy, we listen to music. I think Africans, we sing too much. And we think too little. I'm being honest. If you go to churches, people sing. They sing for 2 hours and they get taught for 45 minutes. Africans are just singing everywhere. You go to an ANC conference, everywhere. There's no thinking happening. So I listened to a song, and this song literally changed my life. Now this song, the singer was born as a very poor black boy, but he died a very rich white woman. Yes, he was born a poor black boy, he died a very rich white woman. His name is Michael Jackson. So the song that really changed my life, and this is no joke, is a song called Man in the Mirror. There's this part of the song that says, I'm starting with a man in the mirror. I'm asking if he'll change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make this life a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. And that one moment, I realized that, it's not the teachers, not the government, it's not everybody else. I have to get my act together. And, it reminded me of the words of one of my teachers, and I'm going to test it with you if that is true. I remember one of my teachers said to me that knowledge is power. How many of you believe that knowledge is power? Please raise your hands. Please go and fetch your school fees back. Because knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is power. So many people know, yet so few people do. So I realized that I don't have to only learn, I must learn how to do. And then I realized that, okay, what is it that I can do which is within my gift? Let me tell you, all of us here know what our gifts are. Some of you, your gift, but your mother wants you to be a lawyer. But your mother is the queen here, cake boss. Who was one episode of Cake Boss. And Cake Boss is a multi-millionaire by baking beautiful cakes. So your gift, your mother shifted aside, because the saddest thing about parents is most parents want to live their failed dreams through their children. I hope you don't do that. I mean, you'll find your father failed matric, wants you to become a doctor. Duh, where does he think your brain come from? He matric showed in flames, and he wants you to be a lawyer. I'm thinking, are you crazy? 23, 40 chromosomes are running in my system. You think I can be a genius overnight? It never happens. The apple falls exactly next to what? To the tree. That's how these things work. So what I did for myself, I said, I needed to find something that's within my gift, something that I believe I do naturally. And the one natural thing that I knew I could do, because people used to tell me, was I'm good at listening to people and I'm good at inspiring people. People would say, each time we come to you, you've got issues, you listen, then you give us solutions. Then I thought, wow, then if I read, learn the knowledge from the books, and apply it, where? To myself first. Because you have to become the case study before you tell people they can do stuff. You can't tell people, you must climb Kilimanjaro when Alexandra, East Bank, but you're telling people to climb Kilimanjaro. So for me, it began with finding my true essence and my gift. That's what I'm saying to you. Each and every one of you, you were not born accidentally. You were born intentionally. 2 very critical days of your life. The first day is when you were born. The second one, it's when you find out why you were born. Now I'm going to share with you some business principles that I want you to carry with you as you build your business. And this concept, it's a concept that is based on a Japanese concept called the Ikigai, but I took it and then I transformed it into a business process. So I hope you take notes, because this is like real good stuff. So there are 4 simple things that each and every one of you, going onwards from today, need to ask yourself. 4 very simple questions that you need to ask yourself to check if your business that you're doing is the right business that you need to do. The first question is, what problem are you solving? What problem are you solving through your product or your service? Because the greatest entrepreneurs on planet Earth solved problems. What problem are you solving with your product or your service? The second question that you need to ask yourself is, who are you solving this problem for and why? Who are you solving this problem for and why? Same sentence. Do they know they have this problem? These people that you're trying to help solve. Or do you need to raise their level of consciousness for them to understand that they have this problem that you're trying to solve for them? It's question number 2. Number 3, is your product or your service a one-to-one or a one-to-many? Now, I need to explain what that means. One-to-one is making nails. Does it make sense? One-to-one is a hairdresser doing one person's head. One-to-many is producing water that can be bought by many people at the same time. Does it make sense? You've got to ask yourself that question. Is your business one-to-one or one-to-many? And then in that same question, you've got to ask yourself about the scalability of your business. Can your business or your product be scalable? It means, can this product or service that you have be multiplied in different places without you being there? In the same, number 3, is your business going to be a brick and mortar, digital or hybrid? Let me explain what I mean. This is a brick and mortar business. Does it make sense? It's got doors, it's got everything. It's a brick and mortar business. And a hybrid business is a business that can operate both physically and online. My business is hybrid. I stand on stage and I speak, but people go to my site and they buy products. We've got products that we're delivering online. So my business is not a brick and mortar business, it's hybrid, which means I can land in any country, anywhere in the world, and still do my business. Does it make sense? So ask yourself, the business that you're starting now or the one that you have, can you scale it, or can you do it in any country in the world without having to put in a lot of capital? The fourth question and the last one is, are you a craftsman or a craftswoman? Now let me explain what that is. So when you buy a watch, there's a watch and then there's a timepiece. These things are not the same. A watch is the one that you okay, let's see. Who's wearing a watch? My chief. How's it? What watch are you wearing? Leia said buy one, get 10 free. What is it? Yeah? Fossil. So fossil, it's a mass-based product. Does it make sense? So it is not made by a craftsman or a craftswoman. It's a machine process. Somebody designed it, they put a machine, and they put it in a factory, and they produce a lot of it. Now there's a watch called Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe gets made by craftsmen or craftswomen. Other Patek Philippe, you can buy them, but others you cannot buy them. You can only buy it per invitation. Does it make sense? They have to invite you to buy it because the level of craftsmanship is so high, the price is crazy. I mean, the most expensive Patek Philippe in the world is $15 million. That's a watch. 4 o'clock is 4 o'clock on that watch, you know? But because of who made it, that's what makes the price big. Now, your business, are you a craftsman or a craftswoman? Are you so amazing at what you do that you can put premium price on it? Does it make sense? That, you know, you Chicken Licken and Nando's and Kentucky, they are not priced the same way, am I right? They are priced differently, like Woolworths and Spar and Checkers, they are priced differently. So you've got to ask yourself this question, are you just one of the people that are doing what you're doing, or are you the best of the best? And I believe you've got to want to be the best of the best because we're living in a world that is very competitive. Now, another question that you need to ask yourself, can you outsource the production of what you are building? Because if you have a product, you have to eventually decide whether you're the marketing company of the product or you're the production company of the product. Does it make sense? Now, Coca-Cola does not produce Coca-Cola. Do you guys know that? Coca-Cola sells the lines of production to people in different countries. They own the marketing, the brand Coca-Cola. Actually, the brand Coca-Cola is more in value than the fridges and the trucks and the drinks that you find because they've decided that they're going to get into that. Let me give an example. McDonald's. What business do you think McDonald's is in? Yes, McDonald's started selling burgers, then they moved to service, then they realized that there's money in property. So they sell you the concept of making burgers in their own property. They don't sell you the property. So they are the third biggest property company in the world because they've seen property. Nike. A lot of people used to think that Nike makes shoes and trousers and whatever. No. Nike is not in the apparel business anymore. Nike is in the inspiration business. They say they inspire champions. They say where champions pick up the gold medal, Nike must be visible. That's their business. So you've got to ask yourself, what really is your business? Because if you don't ask yourself this question, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Now, there are a lot of guys, I haven't seen some of the products, but one of the things that you've got to ask yourself is, are you selling the singer or are you selling the song? Okay, so let me explain it to you. There's one of me and there's 24 hours. Am I right? How many places can I be in one day? Not so many places. So how do I extend myself? I extend myself through my digital products, through my books, my videos, my online coaching programs, so that as I'm sitting here, does it make sense? Because I'm not selling the singer, but I'm selling the song. And not only one song, but many, many other songs. Does it make sense? And some of the songs I'm selling are not my songs. I just went into a collaboration with other people. So as a business person, you've got to ask yourself, am I going to be this person that operates from Make Rush until I die? Am I going to become a sponsor shop until I die? Or do I need to begin to think differently? And with the advent of the fourth industrial revolution, you have to think differently. You've got no choice. If you have a brick and mortar business, you've got to think, how do I make my business hybrid? How do I take this business here and put it out into the street? How do I not stop serving people in here, but I can also host parties, I can do catering, I can do all those kind of things. That's multiplying and scaling your business. Does it make sense? So those are the 4 lessons that I've shared with you from the business perspective, but let's go back to my story. What I've shared with you was the first important thing is you've got to find and understand your purpose. Secondly, you've got to be passionate about it. Thirdly, you've got to position yourself in a place where your brand becomes powerful. Number 4, you've got to perform, even if there are no people watching you. And number 5, you've got to be persistent. And when you talk about persistence, in closing, I'm going to share with you this beautiful story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Now, there was this man who bought a very big piece of land. Then he went and he bought the seeds of a bamboo tree. Then he put the seeds in the grass, he put manure, he started watering. And his friends came to him, year number 1, they said, hey, my man, what's happening with your business? He says, no, I'm still watering my bamboo tree. That's year number 1. Year number 2, the friends came. They still saw nothing. They started laughing at him and said, you are an illusion. You're crazy, it's not going to happen. Year 3, he still said the same thing. I'm watering my bamboo. Year 4, there was nothing. Year 5, at the end of year 5, it took only 5 weeks for the bamboo tree to shoot from the ground and to be fully matured. So some of you are busy watering your bamboo tree, and people are going to come and call you names. They're going to tell you, we don't see what you're doing. Keep watering your bamboo tree, because when the time is right, when your bamboo tree grows, you will begin to create wealth and impact the world. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time, let's put our hands together for Dr. Billy Silika. Check. We've got a gift for you.
Oh, really?
But before we give you your gift, we need a picture of you. Right here. All right, so if you just stand right here. Yeah.
Must I smile or?
No. All right, so what's going to happen now is we're going to do a Q&A with Billy Silika. We just have issues. Check. Devil is a liar. Are we okay? All right, so we're going to do a Q&A, but before we do that, we have I feel like I want to give away, we have a gift. This is on behalf of T and NetBank as well. So everything that's inside. It's the passion, no. So every single item that is in here has been bought from the exhibitors today. It's not something that we bought out and brought in. So, showing love to the exhibitors, I think, is important. A big, big thank you to our sponsors and our partners who make this possible. It's not just talk to come and exhibit, but we want to buy, we want to share, we want to show the love. Thank you so much. Give a massive round of applause one more time. So what we're going to do now is, but I also want to give away a prize. Please can have a shirt. Please take a seat. All right, this is for social media participation. There are many of you are tweeting, they are Instagram, and they are Facebooking. But there's a particular individual, Chef Naledi. Are you here? Chef Naledi, you're so shy. You're like, oh. This is for activity on Instagram. Thank you so much for showing us love. Well-renowned and respected chef, please come to the front and get yourself a T-shirt. Thank you. All right. I also want to give away another prize. Oh no, I'll do it after our session. Do any of you have a question for the legend himself? So I'm only going to take about 3 because of time. Yes, I saw you stand up. Yes, there's a question here. And then last one, going once, going twice. All right, my sister, I see you. Okay, we're going to make it 4. Your name, question, and then Mr. Billy, it'll be over to you. But I want to ask you very quickly. Today our theme is solutions to load shedding. And I think we've got many entrepreneurs here that some businesses are not doing well. They're struggling. The complexity, even with the schedule, that's not working. And you do quite a lot of work with big corporates, multinationals, etc. How do you navigate that, and what advice would you give to an entrepreneur who's probably on the verge of giving up due to this pandemic that we're facing?
Yeah, guys, this is a very complex situation we're facing. But it makes us want to think differently and be ingenious, depending on what business you're in. So, Chef Naledi, I'll make an example, Kawena. I did not know you're a chef. I'm a sort of a chef, you know, when nobody sees me. So, for example, if you're in the food business, you've got to find 4 or 5 other people that are in the same business like you. You've got to learn to capacitate yourself by sharing resources, okay? Because now this loadshedding, I get it on Magadi section, you find this other one is between 2 and 4, whatever. So if all 4 or 5 of you have got places to cook food, why not maximize that time and go to one person's place at a particular time and cook from there, and then the stock, you know, you've got to find a way to collaborate. This is not a solo sport anymore, and business was never a solo sport, by the way. We've got to learn to collaborate. So the only way we beat this thing, there's no quick solution, but we have to be ingenious. You know, do we buy stock and keep it? Do we only buy stock when people want it? Do we teach our consumers how to buy? Because you've got to teach your consumers, you've got to say to them, listen, today order food for tomorrow because we cook it between 10 and 12. So now you've changed your business, more people order online, between 10 and 12 they come and pick up. We've got to find those kind of ingenious solutions, but it's a complex problem. But I believe those little ideas can make a difference here.
Thank you, sir. All right, if you had your hand up and you wanted to ask a question, please come to the front. My sister wearing the pink, please come to the front. My sister with the black dress, black, and please come to the front as well, my brother. Let's make it quick. Good, sir, how are you? Good, good. We've been looking for you, Mr. Arnold. We will see you. All right, Chef Naledi, please come to the front as well. You'll stand, okay. Name, straight to the question. Cool.
And Dr. Silakan, thank you very much for the presentation. Lovely, very lovely. So the question is, you gave that example about Woolworths, Checkers, and Spar. And I think the impression that I got is that all businesses should emulate to become a Woolworths. Now, you know, Spar still has customers, and Checkers still has customers, and they fit in and talks about your positioning. Should we all emulate to become a Woolworths, or if you position yourself to become a Spar and make money in the position that you are, is that a bad thing? I'll give an example. There's a guy, Komafikeng, where I come from, Oriksan Chibuku, and he makes a killing out of Chibuku because that's the sector is identified. And it's not an attractive business, Chibuku, but he makes a killing. Is that a bad thing, or should we emulate to sell Hennessy?
Question, thanks,
Guys, I always say different strokes for different folks. Each and every business has got its own niche. And each and every business, you've got to find that niche. Woolworths have got their own niche, Spar, they've got their own niche, Checkers have got their own niche. But I believe that a lot of people have got this mentality at these spaza shops. You know, everybody wants to become a spaza shop until they die. We have to learn to graduate from that fact of having a small little shop. We've got to learn to graduate from it. But every one of us must find their own niche. And you must serve that niche so well. Like I'm saying, the last question I asked you, are you a craftsman? So that guy, he's a Chibuku craftsman. So everybody who wants Chibuku knows where to get it, isn't it? And if you try and copy him, you're not going to make it. So that's what you must do. If you have your own business, be the amazing, be the best, so that when they think about a particular product or service, they think about you.
Good morning, Sanwanani. My name is Prudence Mngube. I'm young, black, and gifted. And yes. And honestly, question iti unemali. Like, no, seriously, like unemali, because I think every time, you know, when people do talks, like it's share something, and today's theme is about solutions. And I mean, I'm a businesswoman, you know, so I'm asking genuinely, do you have money? And if you don't have money, do you have resources that you would want to maybe give away as gifts after your talk and after your experience? Since you said you're a talker, I'm also a talker. Do you have connections you can connect us with? But on a serious note, do you have things that you can share with us that are solution-based that we can use?
Well, like NetBank said, you know, it's not about money. All right, guys, you know, I've always said to people, I have about 5 or so businesses. I've never went and looked for funding for my business. I've never believed in looking for, I'm a sales guy. I have a product and a service, I'm gonna position it and I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna knock on the doors and I'm gonna sell it. That's what it's about, because let me promise you, a lot of people want funding. If I give you funding now, you're going to fail. Because already you're now telling me that you don't have the ingenuity to make it happen. So you're telling me, when your blockage is money. I can promise you now, if I give, actually go to statistics, go to CIFA and find out how many people who have been funded are really failing. It's not about funding, guys, it's about thinking differently and about giving out a service that is so amazing that people show up and pay you for it. That's what it's about. And I can promise you, I've started a restaurant in Tembisa. It's called The Big Elephant. I'm going to invite my good chef there to come and cook. I'm taking over a second restaurant in Tembisa, not with money, with sales. Does it make sense? When we started the restaurant in Tembisa, we started it just after COVID. It's called The Big Elephant. And we realized that we needed to find something that nobody else does. We do the normal traditional food, whatever, but our specialty is the tomahawk. We cook the most amazing tomahawk in the Southern Hemisphere. We've had guys from the UK, guys from the USA, guys from Sweden, guys from France, heard about our tomahawk and they came. So that's it. We have a niche product and people come and they pay for it. And if you go to our restaurant in Tembisa, you walk in there, you get the surprise of your life. Tables are set. It's professionally run. There's champagne classes, there's wine classes, there's water classes, there's everything is branded. So when people walk in there, in their mind they think, oh my God. Actually, somebody said to us, you guys have brought sense into Tembisa, and we said, that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring a restaurant in the township that is fine dining, but which is accessible to people. Never went and asked for money. Bought tomahawks, invited people to buy the tomahawks. They liked the tomahawks, bought the tomahawks, and I took that money and I added my own capital, and the business is running. We're taking over the second one, same concept. We're never gonna go and ask for funding. I don't know, that's just me. Because, you know, it's the same concept like somebody says, when I die, I'm gonna leave insurance money for my children. If your kids can't make their own money, what makes you think they're gonna take your money and make it better? Doesn't make sense. So, madam, I can't give you money. I can sit with you and you tell me what your business is and I tell you how to shift it so that the product or the service that you have, people pay for it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samalani. My question is, Mtate spoke about a one-to-one or one-to-many. So my question is that, as a person who has a one-to-one and one-to-many, and is able to balance the two, how do I grow and still make it work? Because my one-to-many is something that is improving on a daily basis. So I'm selling ice blocks. So I used to sell with ice creams as well. So because of load shedding, I stopped. So I've been saving money to buy a popcorn machine because I do not sell ice blocks winter. So it's like a happy place for kids, my one-to-many basically. So gradually with every profit that I make, it needs to buy me something else so that we have more products that we can offer the kids. My one-to-one, I'm a self-taught nail technician and I'm a self-taught hairstylist, but I went for a training course for the hair. So that's why I wanted to ask, how do you balance the two and still grow with mentorship as well? Because I do the books and everything, but I still need some uplifting to say the two I need to balance and I still need the two to grow. How do I go about it? Thank you.
Okay, madam, don't go. I think, guys, you remember I spoke about scalability. Can your business be scalable? So don't fall in love with the business in such that you want to become the HR, you want to be Jomosono, drive the bus, be the HR, you know, start to collaborate with other people that can do other things. Now your one-to-many, which is your children, whatever, look for organizations or companies that are targeting children specifically to come and bring their products, place them with you. And your one-to-one, which is the hairstyle and the nail, hire other people, train them, but own the brand. But let other people work for you. I mean, many years ago, we used to have Alex hair. There were Alex hairs everywhere. Carlton hair everywhere. Now there's the barbershop, Baby Zorking, Legends barbershop. There's Legends barbershop. You understand? You must graduate from being the person that does it to being the person that operates from a helicopter perspective, where you empower other people, and don't be shy to share with people. You know, if you create your branches, let your branch manager or whatever own 35% of the business, and you own 65%. Because 65% of 100,000 is 65,000, but 100% of 1 rand is 1 rand. Does it make sense? Always think that way, okay?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nkosinaye Same, and I think you answered my question. But however, I do want to ask, let's say you're an entrepreneur or you graduated, but you don't have funding or you don't find employment. And now you do have skills because we are young, gifted, and black. So, and now you have skills, but you do want to start something like doing your own hair and doing some people's hair. But you say that sometimes funding is not the way to go. For instance, let me say I want funding from NEF or I want funding from CIFA because I don't have capital to start my business. So in that manner, as a graduate who doesn't have any capital, how can you actually empower or inspire a graduate to say, this is how you can do it, even though you don't have capital?
What business are you
doing hairs, yes.
So how many people have you?
Few, 5, it depends.
Why 5? Why not 10?
Okay, because during the week I'm at work, I do work, but I do have people who don't work, but they also do their hair. So I want more information based on that for them. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so I'll take it back. I know CIFA is here, NEF, all these funding people, they want to fund people. It's okay. Different strokes for different folks again. But guys, you know, the Pakistanis in the township and the Somalis, I don't know where they get funding from. Do you guys know? Have they been to NetBank? They have not been to NetBank. The guys who wash taxis, have they come for funding at NetBank? I've not seen them. Abo mama bathenga umkhodo on the side of the road. Do they have a business plan? Have they come for funding? I don't think so. I think, like I said, guys, being an entrepreneur is not a romantic story. It's hard graft. It's sacrifice. If it means you must sleep for 3 hours, so be it. If it means you must look for people that you can do their hair and they become the people that sell your brand, go and do them. You know, I get emails upon emails upon emails. Everybody wants to be mentored. Once in a while, we get the most amazing email. We got this email from this young man. He says, Mr. Selekan, my name is so-and-so. I'm in KwaZulu-Natal, in the middle of nowhere in KwaZulu-Natal. I've been following you, blah, blah, blah. I've read this about you, read about you. I've trained myself to do landing pages and to do all these kind of things. I think I can do well on social media to position your brand, blah, blah, blah. Can you please give me an opportunity to show you what I can do? Guess what we did? We gave him, guess what's happening now? We're hiring him to become our head of digital. Because he didn't come to us cap in hand. He says, I have a skill, I think I know something. Can I show you what I can do? Ladies and gentlemen, talk is cheap and money buys whiskey. Show up and find people that can help position your business because you have delivered value to them. If you do hair, why don't go to Connie Ferguson and say, how's Connie, can I just make your hair? Can I just show up and make your hair? And some people say, hey, but she's busy. And I'd ask them, did you call her? No. Then shut up. Because people look at people very far and come up with assumptions. Oh, this person is busy. They will not answer my phone. No. Are you hungry to become successful? You have to gravel. You have to go out there and be vulnerable and just show up. And I can promise you when you do that, there's this powerful thing called providence. It moves with you. That's all I can say. And to all of you guys, some of you, you really don't need funding. You just need to be bold. You need to raise your attitude. You need to be bold. You need to stop being romantic about this thing if you need to go and make it happen. Because if I tell you go and sell Mohori for 3 days of the week to make money to help you run a business for 2 days of the week, you're going to say no. Because there's a perception, I'm too important, I've got a degree, I can't do this. Wake up, guys. You are young, you're black, you're gifted. But you cannot every day have this cap in hand attitude. Somebody must fund me. That's not how life works. You know, yes, you'll get funding if you've got the most unbelievable thing in the world. But for all of us, we're not Mark Zuckerberg. We didn't start Facebook. We didn't start Microsoft. We have to gravel. We have to show up and prove to clients. Guys, actually, you know, the funny thing is people, I mean, this is a guy with an S in Matric who runs a consulting company that operates in 32 countries. How do these people pay me so much money to do the work that I do? Because I showed up and I know what they don't know. Does it make sense? What I know, most of them don't know. Some of my teams, they've got PhDs. I don't have a PhD, but they work for me. Because you know, the A student works for the S student. That's how it works.
Thank you so much. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, that the legendary Billy Selekal. Please can we give Mr. Billy, lastly. People are here, you've touched them, you've made a massive impact. They want to know more about you, your products, where they can get your books, etc. Please share that with them very quickly.
All right, my social media stuff is billysilikane.com. My website is billysilikanespeaks.com. My Facebook is Billy Silikane. My Instagram is billysilikane_speaks. I don't know these things. My people do them. I don't know. Yeah, but you can check me out there. And by the way, 20 lucky people here. I don't know how you're going to do that. So a couple of years ago, I was invited by a group of top American entrepreneurs to write a book with them. It was launched in the US. It became a bestseller. The book is called Breaking Through. I did not launch it in South Africa because my schedule was tight, blah, blah, blah. We've now printed 50 of these books. It's got 15 or 19 other people, entrepreneurs, sharing their stories. So 20 of you will get the hard copy beginning of the month. So my email address is billy@billysilikane.com. Send me an email and tell me why you deserve that book. Okay? And then I'll make sure that you get it. Wherever you are, it will come to you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. More than, we just invited him to come and give a presentation, but he's given so much today. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for the legendary Billy Silikane. Hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together Bekelibeke. To our online audience as well, we're speaking about solutions to load shedding. So feel free to share with us how load shedding has affected you, how it's affected your business, and how you're navigating around it so that we can bring people who specialize in what you need to know. We have one more speaker before we have our networking session. He's going to be very quickly, but thank you so much for sticking with us. Like, you don't have to be here. You can just leave, but you are still here, which means you are still hungry to learn, still hungry to grow, you still want more. My team has told me we've got our winner. So don't go. Even if you think that you didn't win, it's a surprise. Because we'll give away the money. Right? Roomster. Roomster still here? These guys run an amazing business, backroom rentals. Because we know rentals as, you know, even low, then the rent. But they, amazing. He'll tell you more. Is he still here? Roomster? Roomster going once? All right, it looks like Roomster is not here. He has unfortunately left. So we'll move on to our last session, which is the networking session. Are we still together? Hashtag join us for tea. Hashtag together Bekelibeke. Those are 2 hashtags. So I said to you, every time you go to an event, this is probably one of the best advices that I got. Don't sit with who you came with. Because it's the same conversations. After you're going to live together, go get lunch. As Billy said, you don't know who you're sitting next to. So one of the things that we do is to connect you to new people. You don't know who you're sitting next to. What you're going to do for the next 20 minutes is network, is to meet someone new. But we're not going to move around because of the chairs. I see the chairs they struggle. So if you are on the second row, what I'm going to ask that you do is you just pick up your chair, you turn it around, and you face someone new. Can we do that? That's the first instruction. Please pick up your chair, turn it around, and face. But don't all pick up your chair because all the chairs will face that way. So make sure you're facing someone new, please. Please pick up your chair, face it around, and meet someone new. Don't switch chairs, because maybe you saw someone you're like, why? But please Please, guys, so pick up your chair, turn it around, and face the person behind you. Must be someone new. Please don't leave. This is an opportunity for you to network, pitch your business. Who are you? What do you do? Let's go.
You know what the question we wanted to ask me? This
Stand here.
All right, let's network. Let's continue networking. Let's continue networking for the... Just for the next minute, continue networking with that specific individual. Pitch your business. Tell them who you are. Tell them what you do. And then after a minute, you can move on and introduce yourself to another individual. Show your products, exchange business cards. To our online audience, this part of the session is called networking, where we encourage people, individuals, entrepreneurs to meet new entrepreneurs. You never know who you're sitting next to. That deal, that contract, that contact that you want could be the person that's sitting next to you. We're networking and we're connecting. Let's continue networking. All right, just a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to network with another individual.
Mic test.
Brings us to the end of our networking session. For the next 10 minutes, we will now encourage you to put your seats back, please, as we get ready for the masterclass, and then we're going to go outside and meet the exhibitors and see the products that they have. So I'm encouraging you, ladies and gentlemen, to go and visit exhibitors outside if you haven't. If you haven't had the opportunity to go and see the exhibitors for the next 10 minutes, please go outside, go and see the exhibitors. Some of them are leaving because they have to go places, but this is your opportunity to go and see the exhibitors for the next 10 minutes to see what they offer, their products. We encourage you, if you can't buy, take a picture, tag them, let's show our exhibitors some love. This is for the next 10 minutes. Then we're coming in for our panel discussion, then Sesiaval. So please, let's go see our exhibitors outside. If we can't buy from them, let's take a picture, let's tag, let's share them. Just for the next 10 minutes, please. Asambe siyobona ama exhibitors ngaphandle ukuthi bathengisani, what do they have on offer? Let's show them some love, take some pictures, tag them on social media. This is an opportunity to meet our exhibitors, just for the next 10 minutes. This is an opportunity for you to meet the exhibitors if you haven't. Just for the next 10 minutes. Please go and see our exhibitors, see what they've got on offer, see what they're selling, see what you can buy, ask them questions. Nedbank bankers are still here. Ask them about the startup bundle. Just 5 more minutes left before we do our panel discussion. Let's show our exhibitors love. Let's continue to network. This is your opportunity. Go outside and see the exhibitors. Just a few more minutes left, 5 minutes, and then we're coming back inside for the panel discussion. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Exhibitors really got their money's worth today.
Thanks to load shedding.
Thanks to load shedding. Thank you so much. At the back, please can we have our seats? Take a seat so we can have the panel discussion. Announce the winner.
Test 1, 2. My test 1, 2. Sorry. My test 1, 2. This mic's fine. It's working well now. It doesn't have any echo. I know it doesn't go to. Where does this mic go to? It's working well now. Do you want it back? Who are the panelists?
All right, let's get the show going. We're now going to have a panel discussion. I'll bring up the first speaker who's part of our panel. We're speaking about solutions to load shedding. We've got a specialist in ESD. We've got a young, powerful entrepreneur as well. And this session will be facilitated by Bulelani Balabala. Just briefly, let me read the bio of the first speaker. Please can you settle down? Thank you so much. We've got the panel discussion. We're announcing the pitch winner. We're having lunch and then it's a wrap. Just for the next hour, hour and a half, please can we just settle down and give ear to our specialists. The first panelist is a powerful, powerful speaker, founder of a company called Collab for Growth, Sistoliswa Moroka. She's been an entrepreneur in the SMME space, strategist for the last 16 years in the development sector. She has dedicated her life and her career to facilitating and advancing the economic inclusion, participation and prosperity of African people. Not again, no. She's the founder of Collab for Growth, a personal mastery and venture building consulting for SMMEs. If you want to talk African people, you want to talk purpose, you speak to her. ESD specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for Toliswa Moroka. Come on, Alex, we are live. Let's give a massive round of applause and show some love. Welcome. Yes, have a seat. All right. The next panelist is a speaker. Bukhali, the home of Josie's finest squad. Is this the Kota place that trended? We are looking forward to finding out about this one. He's in the building. Okay. So they've been operating at the premise that is now known as Bailey's for more than 30 years. The Bailey family has participated in many businesses within Alexandra. And Bailey's, which is the latest installment of the family business, was established in the year 2019 by the youngest generation of the family. On the premise, you'll find eatery, hair and beauty salon, games room, car wash, and more. A young, powerful entrepreneur. He's with us in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for Bukhali. Come on, Alex, let's show love. Let's show love. Have a seat, my brother. All right.
Pressure.
And then next up, he doesn't need an introduction. He actually doesn't like being introduced, so I'm just going to call him as he is. He's the founder of hashtag Join Us for Tea. He's a visionary. They know him as Mr. Get Things Done. Please can we put our hands together for Bulelani Balabala. We're just consulting quickly. Just 2 minutes, please. All right. There's one more. Apologies. So I hear, and I stand to be corrected, that the way Nedbank are so committed to entrepreneurs and what's happening and how they can assist them, they went and hired a specialist just to deal with the load shedding and entrepreneurial. Are you not the minister of what that wanted to? Oh, okay, he's not. All right, but so he's a specialist at helping entrepreneurs with what we're going through now and load shedding and how we can navigate. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for Quinton Grayley from Nedbank. Thank you so much and welcome. Panelist, over to you.
Is this cool? No feedback. Is it cool? Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out today. And I think just thank you to the amazing Nedbank team for championing this particular session and the topic that gave me heart palpitations. Solutions. But having an amazing partner means we get to have these thoughtful conversations. One where if you are able to fully immerse yourself in the discussions that we have, you'd be able to reconfigure your business. You know, one of the most beautiful things, and I think we sort of touched on it when we're sitting and chatting amongst ourselves, is, you know, there's quite a number of townships we've already gone to, I think over 11. Now, the interesting factor is that one of the things that stands out, I mean, you go to a venue as prominent as Max's Lifestyle and they say, we know we've built a 300-seater conference space, but we never even knew that the space could do this. And we've got backup power. You guys have given us an amazing idea. You know, you go to these amazing restaurants, Shisanyamas in the township, and the guys are saying, you know, we're sitting with a venue that only operates in the afternoon when people come back from work. During the day, it's a sitting duck. And all of these are these amazing entrepreneurs who don't have anywhere to work from. You guys have helped us to rethink how we actually do business and opening up our space to these amazing individuals to come in and work from there in the morning. So that's a game changer. It's almost the indirect effect of having a deliberate partner who's interested in saying, we go to any township, doesn't matter the floor, the tile, the ceiling, the area, the roof, but we go in with the deliberate, and those are the ripple effects of being deliberate. And I think as my opener, it's also almost the ripple effects of being an entrepreneur yourself, because you came here by virtue of either wanting to develop yourself, you came here either by virtue of you saw the topic, you came here by virtue of being invited, or just saying there are other entrepreneurs, and that in and itself is a success factor in my perspective and view. So who's a phenomenal entrepreneur, who's really just game changed the quota space. So when the 580,000 rand quota was trending, it's his quota. And we've got Quinton, right? And I think for me, Quinton brings in a beautiful blend, right? In terms of some of the solutions that Nedbank and themselves are solving for that you could potentially pick up on. And that's our mix for the day. So as we chat, I encourage you with the notebooks that you got walking in, make notes, ask whatever questions, because this session is about an hour, 10 minutes. Immediately after that, we will then lead to the pitching and the food. Then we can continue networking, but ask whatever questions that you need to ask. So let's come up with our own solutions. So I'll kick off with the amazing Xoliswa. Just tell us a bit, let's pretend we don't know you. I don't know that you're from Alex, you're not born and bred here. Who's Xoliswa? What got you into entrepreneurship and the business you ran?
Okay, my name is Xoliswa Moraka, and I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm also a mom of 2 girls that I homeschool. And I guess part of the reason I decided to be an entrepreneur, and really my desire and my passion is around finding solutions to our problems. And the reason I went into the development sector in particular was that, right, you'd have corporates coming in, donating food, donating that, and then taking pictures with us and then putting us on their financial reports. And we've made a difference, So I was actually, unfortunately, in one of the publications. I was like, but what do these guys do? I don't remember, because they came in for a one-day workshop and they took pictures of us. They made a difference, So for me, it was always saying I wanted to sit at the table, and I wanted to create those tables, and that's why I became an entrepreneur. So I started Collab for Growth really 5 years ago, but I've been in the space for like 16 years, in the development sector for 16 years. Collab for Growth especially focuses on African entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs in particular, and the whole objective is to say entrepreneurship is a new game for us as Black businesses. We are always used as being employees. We don't know how to be entrepreneurs, most of us. We are first-generation entrepreneurs. What does it look like? And because we've been in Alex, the exposure to business has always been survivalist business. It's always been a shop, or, a business that puts food on the table. But how does a business that wants to grow bigger than that do it in this game? You have to understand the entrepreneurship and the business language. I think that's what we do. So what we do is we bring programs, we bring consulting, and we bring community together to build those ventures that can scale up and can contribute productively and effectively to the communities that they operate in, but also to the larger economy. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's a great honor to be in front of everyone. My name is Butale Bailey, and I'm the founder of Bailey's. Like Bulelani explained, we're in the Kota business. Unfortunately, we haven't hit that 580 million rand mark, but I hope we'll get there very soon. But yeah, so Bailey's is a fast casual eatery that's based Momo Alexe. Yeah, and it's been a very colorful journey, you know. Even my journey leading into the business. So I'm a BCom Law and LLB graduate. Social impact has always been something that I've wanted to do. You know, growing up more LX, you just see the injustices that happen every single day. So for me, I pursued that route as a way to try and address those issues. But coming to like third, fourth year of my LLB, I then saw that perhaps this is not the vehicle to administer that change and the one to really drive, you know, what we want to see coming out of our communities. And then the opportunities of Bailey's just fell on my lap, unfortunately, because it came about in a very sad way. My aunt who was running the precinct that we based at had passed away. And my grandfather essentially called me into a room and he said, we've got this piece of land, just do anything with it, you know. He even told me if Tanzar Rekiseri Skopas, do that. You know, it was that informal. And then we went through an entire journey of, you know, what would add value in our community, what would really make people feel proud to call themselves Motu Otwanko Alexandra. And then that's how the Kota came about. The Kota has traveled all over now, you know. We've got guys coming from all over the world who've seen it from European countries, their friends posting about it and talking about it and saying there's this particular place you have to try. So that's really exciting for us. We've been voted Gauteng's second best Kota brand for 2 years in a row now, on different platforms. Yeah. So for us to be able to carry, you know, the flag of Alex is something that makes me really, really proud. Yeah, and that's my short little introduction.
So if you look at me and you question the weight gain, look no further. So, but now Quentin, maybe just tell us also just a bit about who you are, your position, and the role that you occupy at Nedbank with, you know, the load shedding and all the solutions.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much. And guys, thanks for the opportunity to be here today. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a blurb about myself. I'm unfortunately not as well spoken as my colleague sitting to my right here. I actually mentioned it to Lizzie a little bit earlier. I'm actually a closet introvert. But yeah, I'm at Nedbank. I've been very blessed and grateful to be at Nedbank for the last 20 years. In predominantly a solution innovation position. Now it's varied over the numerous years, obviously, but you know, at the core, my responsibility has always been delivering solutions that actually meet the needs of clients. Also, very importantly, you know, and that's the solution that I'll be talking about a little bit later. You know, any solution that I look at it from the point of view as a client, as a consumer, because I'm a consumer, right? And I think specifically the product we'll be talking about a little bit later on is a solution that didn't exist, that couldn't meet my need in the banking sector. Yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Let's give him a round of applause. Now, Koliswa, maybe if you can just grab the mic. Just so you sort of, oh, yeah, I think they switched that one off, but we'll see. But you sort of spoke a little bit about what inspired you to get into the type of space that you're in. But oftentimes, you know, as entrepreneurs, we really struggle to move to the next level, right? And primarily because of, there's certain blockages sometimes that come that keep us from being innovative. Now, I want to ask a sort of two-pronged question, right? How important is it to be innovative and forward-thinking in your business? And then number one, is there a way that is there a formula even for that which one can utilize to draw innovative ideas? Because ideally, my perspective is this, and my perception is this really of the matter is, it's adapt or die, right? We saw it with the lockdown, we saw it with COVID-19, and we've seen it with multiple situations that might not necessarily that are socioeconomic, impacts and situations. Now we've got this load shedding, and I could choose to sit back and complain, or I could find solutions. It's easier spoken than done, but that's why we're having this particular conversation, to start to jog that mindset.
So I think for me, the first thing we have to do is understand what innovation is. Because a lot of people, when they think innovation, they think technology, right? So they immediately say, my business, I had to create an app, you know? And that's innovation. But innovation is saying, how do I do the everyday things differently? And if you see the big businesses that are innovative, they are doing the everyday things differently. Bukhale, the person that we're sitting with right now, we've been selling gotas, no Alex, forever. But he's done something different with his gota, and his target market, as an example, changes the game a bit, right? He's not, I'm sure he branded the gota high. I'm sure, like, you know, so it's small things that you do just to change things up. So you always have to ask yourself, what business am I in? And when you understand what business am I in, you then say, who's doing what I want to do, and how do I do it differently? And that's where innovation comes in. But also, we are prone to go with the most popular thing, right? So if somebody is selling juice on the other side and it's making, I mean, colleagues, there was this ice cream girl, the other, like a few years ago, loadshedding, not loadshedding, COVID, post-COVID, nyana, bekting la mag ice cream la sham lawa ahlobsiwe. Everyone went and started an ice cream business because they saw one person succeeding. But we don't understand the value chain behind that. So if somebody is selling the shram ice cream, how can I be the delivery person while I'm ice cream? Because we used to stand in lines. How can I start the manufacturing ice cream so that they buy from me? How can I start a sweet business so that she buys from me, I provide the sweets, they don't have to go and pick and pay. So you start thinking about the everyday things, and mostly you start thinking about the things that you enjoy. It's so fulfilling to do a business in an area that you enjoy. If you're just doing it for the money, your energy and your fuel is going to run out, definitely.
Now, Butlale, man, you know, I want to ask this question in this format. I mean, I've always looked at, I mean, she sort of touched on it, traditionally, you know, we've seen a lot of places, Emalokshin, but in Samakota. Now you're a smart guy. You could have been in some law firm somewhere or having started your own law firm, but you decided, let me go into the Kota space, right? But to quantify that further, I see so many massive opportunities in the township, but we sort of leave them because one has that Abantu bazothini. When I start selling veggies on the side of the road, you know, when I start opening my own mechanic shop at the corner of the main corner, what are my friends going to say is they drive up and down looking clean, going to their offices. And in my view, they end up leaving money on the table in those communities, right? So what really inspired you to go into this space, number one? And what sort of innovative techniques have you utilized, I mean, to draw some of these customers that you've been getting, right, from all over the globe, and more are going to keep coming?
Yeah, so, you know, the lesson of selling estraten is something I've actually learned from you. We spoke the one time, and you aptly put it by saying that, you know, if things don't work out, when you'll be okay, because you'll be able to buy a 1400 and be able to paint because of the lessons you've learned, you know. So I think definitely that we all need to have that sort of attitude when it comes to entrepreneurship, you know, to be able to build from the bottom up. Yeah, so that's the one question. But I think for us as Baileys, what we've done very differently was, so value innovation. Usixoleswa spoke about innovation. And one principle is called value innovation, looking at what the customer values before they purchase your product, as well as after that, you know. So for us at Baileys, we really worked on those. Because at the end of the day, a food product is a food product. You may have grown up in a household where they use garlic instead of onion, and that ultimately changes your preference for food. So we could essentially never be the best kota in the world to everyone, you know. But we put in so many measures beforehand From the minute you walk into the store, our staff will greet you with a smile. And those are things that they've seen naturally done by us, you know. It's not we force them. When a customer walks in, you must treat them like this and this. They've seen that you greet a customer like this, you handle them this way. And even after sales, you know, if someone's got a concern, how do you deal with it? So I think, yeah, for us, that has been the big thing, as well as social media. We've really worked on our branding. Yeah, we've invested in that, you know. Our social media pages, as well as our website, all have a particular look and feel. We've come to understand that we are not selling a kota, but we are selling an entire experience. And you have to cater for that entire experience. So, yeah.
I thought round of applause, Nyana. Excuse me? Yes, my round of applause while texting. Before I come to you, Quentin, I just want to throw this question. It's no longer, I don't think, it's not even a question of how has anyone, or rather, has anyone been affected by load shedding? You know, it's a question of how have you been affected by load shedding? And it becomes a necessary conversation to have because, you know, sometimes when you've experienced tumultuous difficulties in your business, I'm at difficulty thinking is you know, you end up not even thinking or even wanting to give up. But I think for me, you know, much to everyone who's in the room, closing down a business is not the end of the journey. You know, it's just recalibrating. And we need to get that out the way because sometimes we look at the, you know, the closing down of a business or the failure of a business as a personal individual's failure. But it's not the personal individual's failure, which is why it's sort of important to always be in communities and groupings that are like-minded in thinking, because you'll actually realize that in those spaces that even though the majority, you know, have been negatively affected by load shedding, there's at least 4 or 5 individuals that are doing well. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do well, but that story in and itself needs to then trigger how you navigate and how you think about your own personal business journey. So, Kolisa, how has load shedding affected you? And I mean, you work with a number of small businesses as well. And have you seen any of them sort of trying to navigate this time as opposed to taking the stance that says, well, I don't have electricity, I don't have a solution, I can't afford gas, I can't afford backup power, solar panels and inverters, I'm just going to sit this one out?
So I think it has affected everyone. I'm in the service business and it has affected me. So personally, how we've dealt with it is I move my times around. So I work as per the load shedding schedule, right? So I'm more productive when there's power. So I've navigated that time, but it's not for everyone. That solution is for me, right? It's not for everyone. There are people that are highly dependent. I mean, I work with a lady in Limpopo who's running a chicken farm, and 1,000 chicken died because of load shedding. That's a real issue, right? She's not able to survive and sustain her business because of that. So one has to face it. So for me, it is important that we are sitting in these spaces and we're engaging the very same people that we're trying to solve problems for, because the solutions, most cases, lies with them, not with us.
Buhlale, what has been your impact and how have you sort of navigated this time?
So for the food industry, I think it's been something that's been very detrimental. From supply chain to health and safety, there's a myriad of issues that load shedding brings along, you know. But I think slowly we're starting to see a gap opening up with load shedding. Because literally how Bailey's is structured, we want it to be an everyday food solution. So from that, people are so used to the thing of cooking. It's something that we're used to, you know. People don't think outside of the realm of cooking. But load shedding has forced you now to not cook and to be able to buy food, you know. So for us, that's been a big up. We're appreciative of it for that particular aspect. Yeah, but it's been very challenging. Like I say, food safety, at the end of the day, there's some things that you feel like, we can't take chances of this because the cold chain has been broken for the food. It's easier for us to lose money than to have anyone sick or lose a customer, you know. So yeah, it's been detrimental, but I think as Baileys, we're also trying to manage the alternative energy sources we have, trying to use gas, and trying to supplement with funny things. Like, I mean, there's always a plan, you know. Like for us, I know if you walk into a store, you mustn't tell anyone this though. When you walk into a store at like +6, we'll have lights running, and those are being funneled from a car battery. So we'll still be on, we'll still be a light, and then our kitchen would be using the generator and gas, you know. So I feel as township entrepreneurs, we're ingenuitive like that, you know. We always have a plan. So
a round of applause. You know, I think what I like, I think one of the things that we picked up in it was in one of the reports, you know, they lost about 2,500 chickens.
5% similarity to a solar solution. To a solar solution to a normal vehicle asset finance product, effectively. And that's basically where this whole idea spawned from. Sorry, can you guys hear me? Okay. And that's basically where this whole idea spawned from. So myself and my team have been extremely busy over the last couple of years building up the solution. One of the big things and very important things as well, and guys, here I'm not punting Nedbank in any way, shape or form, but I'm saying if you're going to go solar, if you're thinking about alternate solutions for energy, please make sure that you partner with somebody that is responsible, that has been in the market for quite some time, that is trusted, and that deals with tier 1 reliable product. You know, far too often the last couple of weeks, you know, I think some of you might have seen the social media videos going around houses burning down with solar installations, sub-quality installations being done. Very important. That is one of the big things and one of the big drivers that we had to solve with this product to start off with, is to partner with reliable suppliers that we know are going to be there for long run, that's going to be there for the client, and that basically delivers top quality solutions to the consumer as well. Very importantly as well, I mean, most of you around here, if you go and buy a car, you buy a 1.4 litre VW Polo, and you compare that to a 320 BMW, you understand what you're getting in those different types of products, right? The vehicle finance space is quite pervasive. Information about it is pervasive, and the knowledge base from the average consumer. Now, if I ask anybody here, between a 3-phase and a 2-phase inverter and getting a 5 kilowatt inverter with a 10 kilowatt battery with 14 kilowatt solar panels, I'm sure most of you are going to look at me blankly, right? Because that's the same look I had in my face when I started out my journey, my personal journey about 2 years ago. And that's why it's so important that we actually partner with suppliers that can actually hold the client's hand and do proper needs analysis, understand what the different need of the consumer is. Because again, you know, solar solutions, I almost want to say, are as varied as the people of South Africa, right? A 50,000 rand solution might work for me, a 500,000 rand solution might work for you. Again, it varies from person to person. And that's why it's so important that we actually get somebody that can actually hold the client's hand through this journey, understand the need. You know, it is quite daunting, you know, if you think about solar in the bigger scheme of things. And yeah, that's basically where this whole product was born from. Effectively, we went live August last year from a Nedbank perspective. So it is now Nedbank Solar powered by MFC. At this stage, you know, we are predominantly focusing on the consumer segment, but hard at work to formulate a product for small and medium enterprise as well. You know, so we're hard at work, and hopefully very soon we can come with a good value proposition.
I'm going to come back to around price points, right? And around how does one even navigate getting the information? Because there's a plethora. I mean, there's an inverter, there's a solar panel, and there are batteries. Some batteries are lithium, some batteries are gel, some batteries are lithium, but they're deep cycle. Some of them are 5.5 kVA. I know a bit of electricity, but it's a plethora of information. Maybe we need to just dissect and unpack that. But police, I'm here, I'm a small business, I'm getting all this information, and it seems like a lot, which is why you just write it down. But how then do I then start to collate myself in pivoting to the next business? You know, I think under the threshold of thinking that says, you know, adapt or die. which is a reality in most cases, because, if you're not making sales in business, it's not a business, it's a hobby. Because the lifeline of every business is sales. You need to be selling. If you're not selling, then you're going to pick up problems. You might not be able to make your repayments and whatsoever. So then, the conversation around pivoting becomes super important, because linking it directly to saying, how do I then navigate this time in making money now? And I think just on the back of that, I think some of the things we've had to do is, it's either you could sit, wait for power to come back, or you could get in the car and go deliver the documents that you could have emailed, Because the guys, what we found is that with some of the guys are in the office. They're not leaving the office. So instead of waiting for them to check their emails, it's much quicker to say, you guys close at 3. The power's only going to be back at 6. It left at 2. We're actually going to drive out and catch whoever needs to sign for whatever they need to sign for. You get the physical copies. You'll later get the electronic copies. It might cost a little bit more, but if you do nothing, the cost of doing nothing is far greater than the cost of leaving it entirely to chance. So what are your thoughts on that?
So for me, and you touched on it, Bulelani, when we started, Guti, a lot of us have a bad association with failure, number one. We have a bad association with closing down some of our businesses because we think, that's what we're in. You understand? So I think for me, it is important that each of us as businesses have to look at the state and the health of our businesses currently. Where are they and what is happening? Do you see something changing in the next 3 to 6 months? Can you carry on with your business as it is for the next 3 months? If not, what are the alternatives? So it is a self-reflection thing, number one. You have to start with self and say, can I carry on? And also be married to creating value, not the product that you're selling. Be married to creating value. So you ask yourself, how do I continue creating value for the market that I am serving? If my current model of operations is not working, how do I go about creating the value? Instead of sitting and just engaging in emails and trying to be, we had to do most virtual calls during COVID, right? Right now, we have an issue that says, get out of the building, as opposed to sit in the building. Now, can I do more of the getting out of the building and just meeting people outside? So the other day I had to work at McDonald's. The only thing I had to have was 50 rand to buy whatever they were selling, right? But I was like, I just need the power on, so I'll just spend 50 rand, buy French fries and a cold drink, then work and still get work done, So for me, it's self-reflection of what is the state of my business currently, and can I carry on with my business in the next 3 to 6 months? If not, what are my alternatives? Number 2, don't wait until the business is crippled to a point where you can't even sell it or position it as a value for somebody else. Because a lot of us, when we build businesses, particularly Tina, as abantu abamnyama, we build businesses for self, right? Most of our businesses are not sellable. And that's a big problem. Is the business is you, the business is operating by you and all of those things, so you know everything. If you die tomorrow, the business is gone. You can't sell it. So if you have the desire to build a sellable business, you need to start thinking about what are the things that I need to put in place to do that, So it's important to then say, this asset, can I salvage something if my option is to just close it down? Because sometimes it is closing it down, right? Can I sell some of my assets to recoup some of the money so that I can set up the next venture, and it is okay to start that? For the first 3 years of your journey as an entrepreneur particularly, you don't know what you don't know. A whole lot of us are testing stuff out, right? So for the first 3 years is a test phase. You don't get married to any product or service that you're selling. You get married to value, to delivering value, and it is important to always understand what the market is buying and what the market and how the market is responding to the offering that you are putting in, to always change things around.
Thank you so much. Michelle, just give a round of applause. I just want to ask, right? How have you, question that also feeds into, load shedding. You sort of touched on it in terms of the batteries, being able to efficiently provide the service. But, someone might sit there and think, just as a side note, Kota business is not unique, I guess, up until they meet yours. But the Kota business is not unique. Why would I go into that space? Why should I even think about differentiation? And then in the midst of chaos, which is load shedding, why should I even think of pivoting my business and getting more consumers in different creative ways? So what has kept you competitive without really giving away your trade secrets?
I think the biggest secret of them all, which I can share, is building a community, especially with a business like ours, because food is an essential. And I mean, it all boils down essentially back to your problem-solution statement, For us, the problem was that African food and that sort of food was not enjoyable for people outside of the township, So when they do walk in, they get that experience, and that sort of thing. So we've built a strong community around that, People, when they walk in there, they get a feeling more than anything. And for us, it's essentially about keeping the standard of the product where it needs to be and keeping the lights on, whether that's figuratively or physically. Just as long as the business is running, we've built a strong enough community for people to be able to enter our business and want to come back the next time, before they even interact with their actual food. Just the interactions prior to them getting the food, like talking to, I'm trying to get this point across, but it's difficult. Am I still audible? Yes. All right. But essentially, we have some customers who would walk in and talk with, whether it's us or the staff, about very deep things, and then at the end of it, they'll remember, oh, I was here for Kota, So we've built a community like that. And I think, through every single challenge, if you've built a community around your business, you are able to ride the wave with them.
Just on the back of that, right? For many, many years, I ran an internet cafe. Now, if you don't understand the business you're running, the cost of doing business becomes extremely high. Then every problem that comes becomes a problem that almost seems like it's damnation. It's the end of your business. You don't think solutions. You don't think, let me learn about this thing, let me think solution. Because, when I think of primarily the Kota business, I think what we used to do then, we had people coming all this far as Rustenburg to come and type CVs in Tembisa. And that's this differentiation, right, in the market. But one of the things that I really want entrepreneurs to really delve into, especially also in this time with the advent of all this chaos that we're picking up, is rethink your customer. Same product, but rethink the customer. Because the same Kota that I sell kokasi and I've built a community, and they're buying it, and there's load shedding, and I'm benefiting from load shedding because they don't cook and they buy, is the same one I could sell to people in urban areas that are the same black people that lived in the township communities, but they're buying it not because they can't afford Woolies food or the sort. They're buying it purely out of nostalgia. And because high. And that sell is totally different from the sell that I sell to someone who lives in the same neighborhood as me. And that's a totally different sell to the sell when I specifically plot out markets and exhibitions that primarily have people of a different race who want to sell it purely because they want a totally new experience and they want an African experience. So same product, but what you've then now done is that you've been able to, number one, export the product to other places. Number two, you've then been able to, through segmentation, build multiple revenue streams. So sometimes when we engage with entrepreneurs, and I'm digressing a bit, but I'll come back, is when we think about solutions, don't think too far. But sometimes when you think too far, it ends up becoming too expensive to implement those new solutions and ideas because you think beyond what you already have, as opposed to this is what I have. Who else would be interested in what I have, But Quentin.
It starts with one, sorry. So a lot of us don't understand the markets that we are serving, right? We want to appeal to everyone. We want to be the business that serves everyone. There's no business that serves everyone. You have to choose your market. And when you understand your market, you start creating the language that speaks to that market. So for instance, ET understands the market. That's why they can use Bekeli Beki as a tagline, right? As a hashtag. Because they understand who they are talking to. It's the township market. But they will probably change it up if they buy Gulani markets. Because these guys, they want suits and ties and all of those things. They want formality. So it is important that you're not just doing business to make money. Do business because you want to create value. And want to create value, start saying, but who am I creating value for? What do they look like? Are they women, men, children, and all of those things? And what are they interested in? What does value look like for them? And you start packaging a solution to fit that particular value, and that will help you, because you're not everyone else. We could be selling a matamati C5 la, but I could package my tamatis and make them branded, in plastic packaging, attract a different market. Lababa 5 in Anatanis. So you have to choose your lane as a business and then just say, is this just to put food on the table, or is this a business? And if it is a business, it has to have a brand, it has to have a specific market that you are serving in a particular problem that you are trying to solve.
So my point, and I think just back, I mean, even before we sort of delve into the price points, right? I mean, for small businesses primarily, because this is the audience that's here at large, what are some of the solutions that they could potentially consider, you know, for their business? And what are some of the solutions that you guys have sort of worked on for them? And then so sort of latching onto what are some of the price points? And I mean, if I'm a small business and I'm here, what would almost be required of me to participate, you know, in these solutions?
I kind of like the direction this conversation is going, because a lot of it, and it's been mentioned now a couple of times, you know, is what is the cost of doing nothing, right? A lot of times we see in the fact that, you know, it might be a big upfront cost, depending on obviously what scale you would want to go, you know, as a small business, as a consumer as well. But what is that point where that cost of doing nothing about it is actually, you know, almost turning into a bit of a make or break scenario for yourself. I've been in a lot of conversation with businesses, with colleagues, and even friends, right? And always I would say the de facto position I always get is to go off the grid is too expensive. And that's almost where my immediate retort to that is, you started from a wrong starting point. You wanted to go off the grid. My suggestion and my almost want to say impassionate plea to anybody is, have a look at what is the minimum viable product that will work for you. Plan big, but start small, okay? Work within your budget, do not overextend yourself, and make sure that you work with a solution that is scalable, that will work for you, but something that you can grow with and that can grow with your needs over time, right? So, you know, typical example, a small business, and I had a conversation a little bit earlier today. Start with a small, like a 5 kilowatt inverter, 5 kilowatt batteries, 5 kilowatt solar solution. You know, if you look at something like that, typically, you know, whether it's in your capacity as a consumer yourself or running your own business, typically a solution like that, an installment on a solution like that could be offset by the electricity saving that you're having, right? So you can then gradually almost grow into the solution and something that's a natural fit, and until you get to that point that you always say, now I'm at a point of saturation, I'm now happy with the solution that I've got that will work for me. So definitely that is one of the things that I do want to stress. You know, when you look at solar as a solution, do not go big bang. Do not think big bang. Plan big bang, but start small. Obviously, there's other alternatives as well. Solar isn't always the only, you know, it's not the silver bullet, right? It's not the be-all and end-all. And especially, you know, your really small startups can't afford a solution like that. There's always alternatives like your batteries, like your inverters. As you quite rightly said, that is a cheap option. Again, I just want to stress, you know, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, please do your homework. You know, make sure that you buy something that is going to be reliable, that is going to last you in your business. You know, the Afrikaans have got a very good saying, goedkoop koop is duur koop. So translating that, it basically just says, paying cheaply up front is going to cost you in the long run. And so make sure that you buy a good quality product that is actually going to last you and your business. Again, there's numerous options for that as well. And I'm going to do a bit of a shameless punt here as well for our Avo platform. I would definitely not be punting a product that I don't firmly believe in. I'm actually an avid user of the Avo platform. If there's anybody around, fantastic specials, great services, great products being offered on the Avo platform. And these types of solutions, these smaller scale type of solutions are all readily available there. You're talking about, your small, I want to say 5,000, 10,000 rand solution that can kind of carry you through those load shedding periods. Again, guys, as I said, do not try and start big if you can't handle, or kind of afford a solution to that extent. So again, very importantly, most of these products are available on the Avo platform. For those that haven't checked it out, I would really urge you to do so on the Android apps, on the App Store, on Apple Play. No, not Apple Play, sorry. What's the Apple Store again? Sorry, yeah, it's the Apple Store. Or just by visiting avo.africa and just go and browse around and have a look what they've got to offer. But again, there's many ways to skin this proverbial cat. There isn't a one-size-fits-all.
And then, before I ask them the last question, and then I'll open up to a few, I think just in thinking about solutions, right? It becomes very important because I think also there's also like a missing gap in the market where even if you go into a solar store, which I've done, some of the guys don't know. They're selling their products, but they don't know, which is why it super becomes important when you engage in someone, when you're engaging a Quentin who's got full-on knowledge, but also then you then go back and you do your own research, right? You then be able to understand that I can't afford solar at all. It just won't work for my business, right? I'm in the industrial space. I can't, if I totally get solar that's gonna power up my business, I'm gonna need to spend 500,000, as opposed to getting a high industrial, generator that I could utilize to then offer me backup power. And then if I'm sitting, Sekasi, and I'm running an accounting business or an internet cafe, could I not potentially get, an inverter, with a backup battery? And what then you do then in that particular case, you get about the 5 kVA or the 3 kVA with gel batteries that are cheaper, but they last 2 to 3 years, And you know that you sort of recoup that back through your sales. But then someone then sits and says, but the space that I'm operating from is not a space that I own, so I can't be drilling battery packs onto the wall. Then I could go to my local hardware and then start engaging those guys to say, these backup inverter boxes that I can plug onto the wall that can give me immediate power for low voltage appliances, what are they? Then I think that's the sort of progressive way in terms of saying, you will then start to look at solutions. So some of the things that I'm even sharing with you now are things where I took the whole entire past 3 weeks and I went to different places to then unpack what is this thing? When you ask a question like a dumb person, what is a solar panel? I see some are saying 480 watts, some are saying 5 kilowatts. So I see a system and a grid, and the grid has 2 batteries, there's an inverter, and there's 12 panels. What does this all even mean? Can I have 40 panels on one grid? Can this potentially even work for my business? And I think those things then become progressive as you are running on a day-to-day basis, because I understand the entrepreneurial cycle, right? It's mostly survivalist, meaning you might not even have the time to be hopping from one space to another, but you need to allocate that time, even if it's an hour a week, to researching how then do you then start to navigate the solutions so that you get yourself out of this time and start to plan that even if I come across a 5,000 or a 10,000, I'd at least have a battery box, a solar box that I can plug into the wall. And if I've got that solar box, it might be generating more power than I require, then it makes me smarter. Then I could rally up all the other guys who are in the services space who only need to utilize electricity in that time and charge them 500 rand a month for utilizing my backup power when I'm up and they are down. It's just thinking out of the box and being able to utilize the problems that everyone else is complaining about and saying, could I bootstrap through other people's problems, which is a shared problem, and create this community of individuals and drive solutions. So to you, Lisa, and I'll bring it up. Last question, then they'll throw in one for Quentin and I'll ask on the floor because we've kept you guys here and then there'll be lunch. But what are some of the solutions that one could think of, right, in this time, even though it might not necessarily be technical solutions that you might bring to the fore, but in not just closing themselves off, but to really open one's mind to saying, I'm gonna do stuff. Because it was to say, next door moto a chaos na moto, I need bread. Moto, I'll get money to buy bread. Right? So sometimes people have the things, they have the problem of not maintaining them, which is why I think Bahlali sort of shared our conversation, right? When I was like to him, it doesn't matter, even if the worst had to happen, I don't have the ego that says I can't hustle a 1400 and start doing odd jobs. I'm not kidding. Because it's the moment you start to put ego into entrepreneurship, because what I always say to the guys I work with is money's in the streets. That's why even as an internet cafe at Tembisa, we knew very well that if I wait for people to come, they're not going to come. I must go and fetch them because they've got a problem. I get late. I must go to their houses and tell them, no, Chaisa late, so I'll come and I'll get the written document so that I go back to the internet cafe and type it, and then I'll come back at night when you're home, when you're eating dinner, and deliver it for you so that you've got your updated CV. Are you happy with that?
So I think, and we've spoken about it quite a lot. For me, the first thing is community, right? Is in business, you have to understand that you have to have a community around you. You can't do it alone, you understand? And sometimes what that requires is that we can take the models that we are normally used to. For instance, can we set up a stokvel samasola? Can we set up a stokvel? So with masipana 1,000 rand, sahambe sothenga sithengele lo solar panel, sithengele lo solar panel the next time. It's a model that we understand. It's a model that we've used to service and to fund various things. We've started a property stokvel and it. Now we can start a solar stokvel. That's one solution you can start thinking about. So you
can give the round of applause, because there's just a
So you start doing that, but also it's saying, can we come together? So when we understand who's in what business in our communities, ilento ukuthi ngifuna ukuba number one doesn't work in these communities. We are all facing the same problem. Can we have a get together as abantu abathengisa amakota, because we are all affected by the same problem, and say, guys, let's come up with a solution. Sometimes it just requires a strategic 3-hour session together to co-create and say, we are all facing the same problem. What does the solution for our business look like? I'm a taxi driver, know that quite well. That's why you have Uato, Armstrong, and all these guys. They are all in the taxi business, but they understand that for us to thrive in this type of business, we have to come together. Do we need to come together in the various businesses that we are in? We do. You can't, sometimes you don't have the money to solve the problem alone. Sometimes it makes sense to come together collectively and put together resources together, then go out and get that solution. You all win at the end of the day. So for me, it's the traditional things that we have let go that will actually work for us now. And some of the principles that we have learned, particularly as African people, those are the things that we need to dial up more on right now. It's not going to be your world. It needs to be our world. We all have to come together to find the solution, because it's not going away. And I think Quentin mentioned that loadshedding, they projected the next 2 years is just going to be crazy. So if we are not thinking about coming together right now and building a community to solve problems that we are all facing, we are in it for a long run.
Yeah, so I think for me, the major learnings that I've taken from load shedding, or the thing we can take moving forward, I think is the thing of taking accountability, you know. Understanding that it's there, it's something that we're going to have to live with, and it doesn't help, you know, to sit back and say, hey, I can't do this because the lights are off and whatnot, you know. So I think the best advice I could give, especially for people in my industry, is, you know, take account. Take stock of all the things that you have, you know, which are your best sellers, which are the ones that move the fastest, so that you are able to mitigate risk where you can, you know. For instance, if you're selling ice cream, don't sell 7 different flavors of ice cream. Maybe choose the top 3 that sell, that you know are going to sell by the end of the day, you know. Even with food, the same principle applies. So take stock on that particular aspect. Decrease the product offering you have, so that it's more impactful and it hits where it needs to hit, while still maintaining your brand. Because at the end of the day, you can't have your brand changed because there was load shedding. I can't now start wanting to do sandwiches because they're more efficient. Because Bailey's, it because barakisari kota. So it's just about finding innovative ways around that, And I think secondly, like Usixolisa has said, we really need to look at ways of coming together and assisting each other through the challenges. Because we're definitely not going to make it as individuals. Whether it's starting ghost kitchens, whether it's having shared facilities to prepare food, all those sort of things, A lot of communities have been doing that forever. I don't know why as black people we're so far behind. And we're really proud of the thing your Ubuntu, but I don't think we implement it in the manner that we should. So yeah, definitely those two things. Just, being able to know how your business makes its money, because that's where you'll know which products work for you best. And you'll double down on those, Those will keep people coming in, whether the lights are on or off. And obviously coming together.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think one of the big things we need to realize, whether it's as community or whether it's a small business, is that everybody feels the pain of load shedding equally, right? And I think a very interesting use case, and I actually jotted it down to share it, that I became aware of is actually Vietnam. So in Vietnam, they were sitting with a constrained electricity supply as well, very much the same as South Africa is at this point in time. There was government incentive at that point in time to feed back into the electricity grid, and I know that government has started coming to the party, right, and as far as those negotiations are concerned. But just a bit of statistics here, I want to throw your direction again on why I firmly believe this problem is solvable. So in 2019, rooftop solar in Vietnam generated 378 megawatts per hour. Okay, so that's 0.3 gigawatts per hour on average. Okay, within 1 year, they've bumped that up to 9.2 gigawatts. Now that's effectively, if I can make it real in the South African context, that's expunged stage 9 load shedding, because 9 gigawatts is stage 9. Okay, so within the space of a year, the Vietnamese people, and this is not big business, this is your average everyday consumer, by implementing rooftop solar and almost building a little hybrid and an ecosystem and a community of solar suppliers, we're able to almost become self-sufficient. So that's definitely, I think, the direction we need to work. We need to work with each other, and again, like I said, whether it's within our communities or within our businesses, because there's now evidential use case that this is actually, that this has worked before.
Now just tell me, you're saying that they're generating what, 9 gigawatts?
9 gigawatts.
That expunges what, stage 9?
Stage 9. That's the equivalent of stage 9.
So the equivalent of stage 6 would be what? 6 gigawatts?
6 gigawatts, yes.
I learned something new. I thought they were just stages. That's what it actually means.
That's what it actually means, yeah. So the stage is actually equated to the gigawatts per hour that needs to be shed off the grid.
I'm thinking, yeah, I learned something new. But before I ask you for final words, I just want to check from the audience. Is there anyone who's got any question? I might not have asked anything. Maybe you might have your own question or thoughts. This is your chance. We'll open up to 4 individuals. Okay, we've got the gentleman at the back. Anyone else? Maybe if I can just get the 4 hands first, and then maybe we'll have them come.
Last 2. Last 1.
Lady. Okay, there we've got the lady in pink. The lady in pink at the back. The lady in pink at the back. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think this is just us collectively having a conversation to find solutions. You know, no one individual has, but this is our effort. And I think in starting, I've learned a few things. And I think through conversations, because what we've also done through Nedbank is what Nedbank has done through us and we've done together is we've commissioned research. And I think it's such an interesting thing because as part of that, you know, I think as we chat, you know, I think we should and we will unpack all the different solutions that are there that are available as far as something as minutely thought of as the battery, right? As because some of the guys, you know, in some of they talk about using gas, but the gas yadur. Bese umuntu to Spanish amalahle yadur. Bese umuntu athi ngqova izembe ngehlathini ngishaya isihlahla. Yabo bese ngifraya inyama. So those are some of the things, and we're not saying that it's an absolute, but we're saying consider and find yourself in any of this. Sibone ukuthi ukwazi ukuncenga kanjani. Sibuka.
Sanibonani, igama uZwelibanzi Moya. I teach project management and I'm in real estate. But now, this is actually just an ask, follow on ET today. So thank you to Nedbank and T to organizing the event. Issue I would say, you mentioned something, you learned the stage 6 stuff. Now, here I am, I'm running my course online for 4 hours. I literally have no clue what my energy needs are. I could go around and ask people, but as a follow-on, maybe an ask to you guys, to formally probably do YouTube shorts or I don't know, YouTube videos of some sort, to actually educate and have a credible source. Because right now, I go on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, there's a million people who are trying to explain what are my needs. But I'm just thinking a credible source with credible support, and then link that to a particular product. Okay, so when you're talking about 3 kilowatts, that's what I need. Okay, how do I need that? How do we get to that? And I know if I'm getting it from T and I'm getting it from Nedbank website or from Evo website, it's actually something valuable that I can then use. And it just shortens my journey, and it quickens the pace between me and me procuring a product or getting a product from Evo. It's a smaller capital cost from your end, guys, I believe. So, Gabo.
No, thank you very much. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank T for this informative session, and Nedbank. But I think mine is more of a question to Nedbank to say that, have you guys considered maybe creating a credit facility for, you know, companies, small businesses in particular, those who are in the township, you know, creating a credit facility that's going to look at assisting with the load shedding crisis that they have. Because one of the dynamics that we have is that, you know, it's much easier to have solutions that we can all contribute to when we are operating in one place. But if we are scattered, you know, it's very difficult for us to put together money and say, let's buy this solution, it will work for all of us. So obviously Nedbank does have, I think, the muscle to check how many watts your businesses use, what are your business needs in terms of, you know, load shedding. But can Nedbank look at creating that credit facility, you know, for township-based businesses where we could, you know, access that credit facility, and over time, of course, you could pay that generator or that inventor, depending on what you use, or even batteries. Thanks.
Hi, guys. Okay, my name is Tadelo Lumata. I'm coming from a company called UPD 002. So we are a power solution company as well. So we do solar installation. We also, you know, offer your backup system as well. So actually, the guy just asked me the question that I wanted to ask. That as a Nedbank is a bank, you know, and then they work with small businesses, and right now this is the challenge that small businesses are facing, which is they are not able to operate because they don't have electricity. So what I wanted to ask, is that do you guys assist, or do you have maybe, do you finance small businesses if they come to you and then look into maybe buy these electricity solutions? That's the first question. And the second thing is that, so what we did with my company, we actually partnered with a company called Linear Investment. So what they do is that they look at the qualifying businesses, commercial businesses, or corporate, or individuals. So, and then they actually first, check if they can qualify for certain packages. If they qualify, then they buy those electricity solution for them. Actually, sorry, I'm nervous, guys, but yeah. Yeah. So what they do, what Linear Investment does is that, they look at qualifying people, and then they buy these power solution for them, and then so what is our job there is to install for people, also, so as a net bank, because obviously how I started this journey actually, as like you man, I used to have an internet cafe, so we had a problem of load shedding, and then we looked at all the solutions. Firstly, we went for a generator, which was burning a lot of, petrol, and one of the guys came to me and said, man, why using a generator while you can actually have a system that, is going to save you money, and then is not noisy as your generator, So that's why we went to, we bought inverter, and the inverter that we bought, it actually uses electricity. So when there's a load shedding, then the inverter just picks up first, and then, we are able to operate. So it's like it's hybrid actually. So it means it charges when there's electricity and when there's no electricity, so it works. Yeah, I think I was clear enough. Yeah. Okay.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Liseta Tona. I'm a property entrepreneur. I think the fact of the matter and the reality is that no one is going to rescue us. It's up to us, and the sooner we deal with that reality and stop pointing fingers, the better. So we're on our own to a greater extent. It's more of a question to the panel, and I think to the rest of us to a greater degree, is that isn't this an opportunity that perhaps we could use to have an Uber of electricity of some sort? To then say, if I don't have a car now, it does not mean that I don't have access to a mode of transport. So my it's not really a question per se. I think it's more of a challenge as well to the entrepreneurs, to really say perhaps it's time that we also, as part of thinking of the solution, but also to then say, isn't there an Uber of some sort for electricity, electricity generation, because some people don't need electricity for 2 hours, different times, and others would need it for whatever period of time that they would need it. But I think it's more of a challenge, but perhaps to a question, if the solution is not there, to then say, let's also think of, for those that, especially that they cannot afford, to support the businesses in particular, because they are the backbone of rejuvenating the economy, to start thinking of, I'd call it, to like a better word, an Uber of some sort for electricity. Thanks.
Hi again, Sanbonan. My name is Prudence. I'm still young, black, and gifted. So it's very difficult not to speak when you're a talker. But mine is more of a suggestion. I just want to put it in the suggestion box. But I just want to put a disclaimer to my suggestion. Like, asina mali. You know, I'm not sure if you understand. Like, asina mali as entrepreneurs. And it's very difficult to facilitate any asina mali, you know. And you see, it's frustrating, asna mali. And the biggest thing, and when you hear bank, net bank, Capitec Bank, you think, oh, money, you know, it's here now. And well, my suggestion is that I'm the one to point fingers. I'm black like that. Is that, for example, like I really wish that if Nedbank were to come, Nizela power bank at least, you know, so that we are able, since we are finding solutions to load shedding, at least the power bank, you know, because you have the money to do it, you know. But other than that, mine as a suggestion is that, like you said, at some point we need to recognize that we're all alone. And I think that the stokvel industry or the stokvel market really works, and people don't realize how powerful it is, especially manbaningi. So I was just suggesting, you know, even if the bank doesn't help us, if there's any entrepreneur who's not scared of people's money, to open a stokvel, you know, where we can contribute a certain amount of money, and we can actually, maybe for example, help this business buy a generator this month, that business buy a what this month. If I'm sabi, mina ngisabu contributor, ngisabu kubamba imali zabantu. You know, but I think if we can put it as a, I don't know if any entrepreneur here is into this money systems, whereby we are able to open a stokvel where we actually contribute money to assist businesses, because load shedding is last for 2 years. And I mean, we can't have the same problems and the same conversations 2 years from now. So if we can at least have a stokvel where we can contribute money to actually assist businesses, ama lights, ama generators, because I see mali. I can't afford all the system alone. Thank you.
Do you want to take a stab at the first two?
100%.
Okay, I think maybe just the first one, the first gentleman who came up. I think in this collective research that we're doing, I definitely know we'll do something to what you're talking about. They are smiling, I know, done. Yeah. Then maybe you can take a stab at the two, and then maybe we'll talk to, I'm locking them in. And then maybe we could talk to, maybe we can try to talk about, I think what was suggested by Lisecha, you know, around, is there an innovative solution? I mean, I don't have the plan, but I think that collectively, you know, if, like what the lady said, if we work together.
100%. So I think to start off with, you know, the MFC websites as well as the Nedbank websites, I think is already doing quite a lot to try and educate your everyday consumer around what solar is, what solar isn't, right? And what different forms of renewable energy there is. Because I mean, you know, again, solar, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, isn't the silver bullet. I take the suggestion as well, and we've already started having a look at it as well, is putting certain, almost want to say turnkey solutions, out-of-the-box solutions on the site that you can kind of illustrate to say, you know, typically 5 solutions, and says these 5 solutions, this is roughly what it's going to cost you, and this is roughly what you're going to get out of that solution. So it is something that we are actively looking at on our websites to actually educate the consumer. But I think the very important thing, you know, and again, just coming back to the suppliers that we're on board, that's where that missing link is, and that's we've identified this right at the beginning of this product, is that we're financial experts, right? We're not energy experts, and that's why it's so important that we partner with the right people that can actually guide our clients, help our clients through this process, because it is daunting. You know, I went through this myself, so anybody, I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 or a handful of people that have actually gone through a solar journey here. To go through this journey is daunting. You know, you kind of feel lost, you feel clueless, you don't know where to begin. And that's where it's so important that the supplier actually holds your hand through this process. You know, actually walks, and this is literally, guys, what happens. The supplier comes out, they do an upfront needs analysis with you, they actually then book a site visit, and they come and spend time on your premises, whether it's your business or whether it's your house. They spend half an hour, they actually walk from plug to plug with you, try and understand what is your need. What do you really need to power? You know, are you looking for a hybrid solution, off the grid solution, or are you basically just looking to get through the hump of load shedding? You know, and they go through all of that with you, and then they come up with different solutions as well. Because again, you know, just putting solar in isn't the silver bullet. You know, I for instance, when I had my needs analysis done, the engineer actually walked through the house and said, hey, listen, bud, if you replace all, because all my lights were normal 100-watt globes, right? So he said, if you replace all your globes in your house, and there was about 20 of them, this is going to cost you, give or take, about, call it 1,000 rand, right? He says, if you spend this 1,000 rand, I'm going to quote you most probably on a solution that's going to cost you about 50,000 rand less. So there's small things, and you know, I've said this quite often after I've basically gone solar myself as well, about a year and a half ago. Going solar or going with alternative energy, you're not buying a product, you're buying a lifestyle. It is a mindset change that you're adapting. You're not buying something out of the box. So very importantly. The gentleman that mentioned a little bit earlier around being in solar as well, guys, I can't stress this enough. Myself and Lizzie were chatting about this a little bit earlier. At this point in time, there is a massive demand for installers specifically in as far as solar is concerned in the country. Our partners at home are actively, they've actually started up a skills program in conjunction with YES as well, in which they are really trying to actively push to get installation companies, get them accredited, get them trained up, because we're sitting with a massive bottleneck in that regard. So again, if there's anybody that is in the solar industry and that does actually do solar installations, please feel free after the time to come have a chat with me. I'll make sure to get you in contact with the guys over at Home Energy, and I'll make sure that you guys link up. All right, there is a massive demand at this point in time. All right. Sorry, does that answer all the questions?
The credit.
And as far as the credit is concerned, so again, just, you know, we kind of took baby steps approach with this product. The product that we've now recently launched is mainly aimed at the consumer market, and fully cognizant as well that obviously your small business does not operate in a similar fashion as the consumer segment does. So we are actively working on putting a product or products together, actually not a product, but putting products together for small business as well. That is in the pipeline, so I just want to say, just watch this space. I'm definitely not educated enough and know too little about the stokvel, but in that regard, so I'm not going to elaborate too much in as far as the stokvel is concerned, but also I want to say in that regard, watch that space. 100%. Okay, 100%. So guys, if anybody here is interested in solar, what you can do, and this is a little bit of an anti-pattern to what I think everybody would be traditionally accustomed to in the banking sector, right? Because we try and push product. Here we don't try and push product, we try and push your way to one of our providers first, okay? Like I said, we the energy experts, or the financial experts, not the energy experts. So one of the important things, either if you visit mfc.co.za or netbank.co.za, it'll take you step by step through the process that you need to follow. The first step is visit one of our approved suppliers. Okay, very important step in the process. There's hyperlinks to those suppliers as well. You know, if I look, for instance, at one of our suppliers like Home Energy, they've got a very user-friendly website in which you can register and do an upfront needs analysis. It takes you all of about 5 minutes, and you can kind of get a sense of what you'll be in for a solar solution. You know, if that tickles your fancy, obviously you can then book a site visit, no obligation, you know, it doesn't cost you anything. Get an engineer out and let them come and do a proper quote for you, you know, and that takes you that one level more accurate on what your need is. And as soon as that is done and dusted, you can get back into the mfc.co.za or netbank.co.za website, and you can apply online for your solar solution. You can literally get an answer back within a couple of minutes on your application. Sorry, does it answer the question, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think in wrapping up, we'll do the pitching and then food. Please don't leave without eating. We've got food. Yeah, they are dying as well. Eh? So maybe closing words, 30 seconds, closing words. We'll hand over to Spoo to announce the pitch winners in order, and then we eat. Network.
Yeah, no, I won't be long. I think the only thing that I'd like to land with everybody is something that I've actually held dear to my heart since I was a young boy, and that is when you think about solar, when you think about alternate energy supply, plan twice, execute once, instead of trying to do that the inverse, okay? Do your homework. You know, like I said, whether you're going to go through the Netbank channels or not, whether you're going to use one of the Netbank approved suppliers or not, do your homework. Make sure that the supplier is reliable. Make sure that the goods that you're procuring is reliable and it's actually going to carry in the future and it's actually going to meet the demand of your business. Right.
Thank you.
Right, yeah. For me, I don't know, I might get in trouble for saying this, but whenever I hear bank and credit, for me immediately I know that for people like you and I, that's probably not going to be the greatest of journeys. So truth be told, I think for us as township entrepreneurs, we should look for solutions within ourselves, you know. Understand your business. No one actually knows your business better than you know your business. So start finding those solutions slowly. And for me, what I know has worked is being as lean as possible, you know. We've scaled down as far as we can in terms of our product offering so that we're able to balance that. So just be creative of how you go about it, because I think this is a problem that's going to be with us for a long, long time. And the solutions that are going to be accessible and relatable for you and I may not come anytime soon. So start looking with it.
I think for me there's two things, right? There's two opportunities. The first opportunity is that there are businesses that are in the energy space right now or in the electricity space, installers. Find out what Netbank is doing, number one, to become, they were talking about credible suppliers or approved suppliers. If you are in that space, how do you become an approved supplier to Netbank? And is there an ESD program? Because for us, mostly black businesses, we're probably not going to qualify to be an approved supplier because of all the terms and conditions that are there. But there could be an ESD program. Who said, I'm an ESD specialist. An ESD is there to serve us as black businesses. So if there's an ESD program that can be created to support black businesses to become credible service providers or approved service providers in your platform, and I think it's an opportunity for you guys to look at that, where you are saying, let's take 10 businesses from Alex, from Katlehong, and in partnering with T, because you already have the database with these guys, where we are saying, let's put them together in a 6-month, 8-month, 12-month program where they can be credible and can be listed, because now you're solving a demand issue. You have black businesses that are providing solutions to some of our black businesses in the community. That's the first one. The second thing is that as a business, where there are problems, there's always solutions. You can't be crippled by the problems that exist. You always have to think about what are the ways that I can find solutions to this problem, and sometimes the solutions does come up through conversations. Don't be afraid to go out and engage with other people. These platforms are important. Engage in these platforms and find friends that are facing the same problems that you're facing, and then together, club together and solve the problem.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is our panel for today. That wraps up the formal, almost wraps up the formal proceeding. So we will now just do the pitch winners. But before our panelists leave the stage, if I could just have you stand, climb up together. The photographer is going to take a picture. You can smile. We got it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause. I will at the back. Let's do it at the back. After. Yeah, we'll do it after. Oh, gifts, yeah. All of the gifts, I think Sbu has mentioned it, were procured from the small businesses that are exhibiting here today. So thank you so much to the small businesses. Thank you for Netbank for sharing the Zaga. One last round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And then let's kick it off. Thank you so much.
All right, I understand. I'm getting straight into it, and I need to close. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, so we're going to announce position number 3, 4, and 5 for our pitching finalist. Can I please have the envelope? This is for position number 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's get moving. Can we have a drum roll for position number 5? And ladies and gentlemen, position number 5 is Ntokozo Mazibuko, the young, powerful physiotherapist. Please come to the front, my sister. We have a gift for you. All right, congratulations. Position number 4. Can we get a drum roll, please? And position number 4 goes to Sakile Shabang. Sakile. One more time, a round of applause as he's coming up to the front. All right, fantastic. It is very important. And we've said this before, that we want the money to stay in Alex, and the money is going to stay in Alex. You will have to prove and have to verify in terms of addresses to make sure that the money is staying in Alex. We will do that adjudication. Now to bronze. Position number 3. Can I please get a drum roll? Position number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is Semi Dobe. Semi, please come to the front. Did I say? Please come to the. Did I say number 2? I said number 3. Eh? I said 3. No, the minister can cook on the battle. It's a 3.